Well, Tolos, it was Aerosmith who said, I'm back in the saddle again. And Cole Bryson and myself are back in the Joy Law Firm studios.
Ingalls
Market Studios. You can text in on the Joy Law Firm text line. See, we're already out of practice. You know, you lose it fast. If you don't use it, you lose it, as Steve Carell taught us. Why are Cole and I both wearing these ridiculous Krispy Kreme hats? Well, that's because Rick and Greer showed up, stalked Cole outside of the studios, waiting for Cole to get here, and he showed up with 1.5 boxes of Krispy Kreme donuts. Are we surprised that the first was that all the way full?
It was full. I gave.
Oh, okay. When I first saw them, I thought he had pulled a Belichick on us and taken half of the donuts.
I gave donuts to Lonzo, John, Charlie, James. I gave donuts to help me out here.
No, I'm gonna let you do
through that wall. Through
Stacy.
Stacy, I gave donuts to Stacy.
We're only in the same building with each other every single day.
I apologize. So, if you're watching the show, you can see these fantastic crispy. How long has it been since you wore a Krispy Kreme hat?
Every bit of a decade. Did you take one down to our boss, Mark Hendricks?
He said no.
I heard he was having a bad day.
No. He said no.
Okay.
He declined.
A donut can fix almost anything.
A donut nut. I'm a nut for Krispy Kreme. There you go.
Yeah.
And look at that. I mean, we are rocking them. Looking good.
But they're not sponsors of the show, so we got to take these things off.
But they should be. Look how good they would look if they were, right?
They would look great, but money comes first, then the self-embarrassment comes afterwards.
We just crumpled the hats.
Uh-oh. Look at you. Now we got to call up somebody else. Got to call up a different donut shop.
I would like the Krispy Kreme donut sponsor for sure.
That would be great. Show up before the show every single day for a free coffee and a donut. That would be
glazed.
Good.
Oh, a little chocolate sprinkles. Good. Man, what you talking about? Now my hair's in that stuff.
So good. Scammer, no thank you. I just got a call from a random number that was blocked because I turned on that new feature on my iPhone that lets you block that. And the voicemail came in with the transcription that a $1,400 MacBook Pro was just authorized on my credit card. And am I sure that I want to let this go through?
See, you should have. And I know we can't legally. You should have answered it and put it on the air.
Yeah,
him or her.
There are rules.
Oh, that'd be great.
You're not allowed to put someone on the air without their prior consent. That
would be such good radio.
You can't prank call people anymore. We couldn't prank call Will Vandervoort if we wanted to, who we just spent time with over the week. No prank calling Chapel Fowler. No prank calling any of those guys.
Yeah.
You got to keep it above board and not tell anyone.
It's all right, though. But appreciate you, Rick and Greer. If you're listening, thanks
you,
for the donuts. Diesel ate how many?
6.
No, you did not.
6
You did
donuts.
not eat 6.
I got to do 1,000 push-ups tonight to get rid of those 6 donuts.
Rick, I had my appointment today with New Life Weight Loss, and I cannot eat a donut today.
But can you eat 2 donuts tomorrow?
I gotta be good today.
Okay.
I gotta be good today. So I apologize, Rick.
What does a donut weigh, though?
I don't know. It's got sugar.
A donut weighs maybe an ounce, Cole.
They'll get mad at me.
No, they won't.
They'll get mad at Cowboy Cole, not me. But no donut for me. Sorry about that, Rick.
You wear your boots today?
No. That's another person.
Did you wear your hat today?
That's not me. It's another person.
Oh, okay.
Come on, get it right.
Yeah, okay. Tolos, we can't thank enough Must and Kapasi from Kapasi Glass for sending us up to ACC kickoff last week. It was a blast. Going to do a little recap of our ACC kickoff and get you going headlong into SEC Media Days, which got underway down in Tampa. We'll play some audio for you. I don't know if we'll get to it in this segment, Cole, but a little bit later of Greg Sankey, the commissioner of the SEC, who launched Cole by saying, wow, we really love Tampa. This is great being in Tampa. Tampa feels like it's second home. By the way, next year we'll be in Nashville.
Yeah. Tampa was an oddity, wasn't it? I mean, I was looking last week at the history of their locations.
Mm-hmm.
Since they left Hoover, which was their mainstay for, it feels like they were in Hoover forever. They've kind of bounced around. I heard next year they're coming to Spartanburg.
It's
true.
Maybe they'll come to that new convention center building downtown Greenville.
Yeah.
How about that?
Let's do it.
How awesome would it be, though, to have SEC Media Days in our backyard?
Well, why can't we? I mean, we have the SEC tournament here.
Knox White.
Hey,
Knox White, call somebody. Get Greg Sankey on the phone.
You hear when the SEC women's tournament comes here, you hear all the personalities talk about how awesome the city is.
Yeah.
And we have not only that, bigger, I don't know if bigger, we have March Madness. We have March Madness in this city.
Greenville's coming up,
So,
man.
I mean, I don't know. Find of the other cities. I mean, if they host the women's tournament and March Madness, that's a pretty big deal. I don't know why we couldn't host SEC Media Day.
For those of you who are like, what is he talking about? This just literally came out like 2 weeks ago, something like that. The area, if you're familiar with downtown Greenville, it's the Camperdown area. It's basically right behind the Grand Bohemian Hotel. It's a huge parking lot at the moment. Yes, I live under the bridge adjacent to it. It's the only place in Greenville that I can afford. That whole parking lot is going to be redone into some kind of convention center district, which means it's going to be nice. So sorry for the folks that run the TD Convention Center. That I guess it's done for. I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. But what if? Why not us? Why not us?
I think you and I should be the ones to kind of push for it and see if we can get a little momentum. Talk to Greg Sankey about it.
You know, I think that the folks coming in from Columbia, from Tuscaloosa, from Knoxville, from College Station, I think they would enjoy coming to a smaller but still vibrant city. I think they would enjoy it.
I think it'd be great
compared to like just big old high rises everywhere.
Yeah.
Greenville's got so much more.
Well,
so much more to offer.
It's every SEC or every conference media day. It feels like it's in a big, Charlotte, let's do it. I'm for it. I love it.
Those people in those cities, they don't appreciate it. They don't appreciate it, not the way that Greenville would. But Cole, as we get a chance to look into the eyes of coaches and players, if you were going just on aura, and we didn't get to talk to everyone at ACC kickoff, but going just on aura, who do you say right now are your top three? Put them in a blender, mix them up. So you don't have to pick 1, 2, 3, unless you want to. Teams that you think really by the end of the season have the best chances of winning the ACC.
The easy answer is to always point to the quarterback, right? And what team has the quarterback has the best chance. And I think there's a lot of truth in that, Diesel, but I also think teams that have a great team, maybe a mediocre to above average quarterback, can also still push as well, a la Clemson. If they were to make a run to a championship this year in the ACC, talking about an ACC championship, they could do it. Good college quarterbacks have won national championships. Nick Saban's a great example of that, right? So you don't have to have an elite quarterback, Diesel, to win at the highest level. But, you look at Kevin Jennings and SMU, and you talk about just aura. I mean, it's hard not to go to Kevin Jennings and Carson Beck, Darian Mensah out of the gate. I like talking to Mario Cristobal, but there's one guy. I'm going to give you those two easy answers out of the gate, but there's one guy, one team that I just wonder if, boy, he's sitting back like this in this chair and just smiling, and that's Steve Angeli. He was the best quarterback in the ACC last year. He was the best quarterback until he tore his meniscus.
Yes,
and he's done. And not only was he the best quarterback in the ACC, he was the best quarterback in the country. I mean, you remember when you and I sat here, he was killing.
He was incredible. And in our conversation with him, and caller, we'll get you on here in just a second. He was just rapid firing information off. He seems like that kind of guy, Cole, that's always thinking like 3 or 4 comments ahead. And he's just rattling them off. So we won't know until he gets back out there on the field how that knee really is. But mentally, he's still as sharp as ever. So I think Steve Angeli and Syracuse have a real good chance of being good this year.
I don't know that their team around them is as great as other teams. Imagine if Steve Angeli, I don't mean to be like Debbie Downer and be disrespectful toward a local product, but what if Steve Angeli was in Clemson? Would that receiving core? Are you kidding me? With Bryant Wesco? Are you kidding me? Steve Angeli, with those receivers?
Maybe Christopher Vezina, who I know is not a freshman, but he is a first-year full-time starter here for the Clemson Tigers. What if he comes out of nowhere, Cole, and is the next Jake Fromm?
Maybe
what
he
if
is.
He's the next Caleb Williams
Carson Beck
or DJ, Dylan Raiola.
Well, that's my point. Going back to what I said a minute ago about quarterbacks, above-average quarterbacks being okay, like Carson Beck wasn't an elite quarterback. But Carson Beck had his team playing for a national championship last year. You go back and look at the teams that Nick Saban had playing for national championships. Diesel, there were not a lot of elite quarterbacks that Nick Saban touted as national champions. A.J. McCarron, good quarterback, not a national champion. So to your point about Vezina, I'm not saying it's not possible, because I do think the trio that they have at receiver, I mean, they've got as good as a three-headed monster receiver, I think, as anybody.
And I'm also not saying that it's national championship or bust in Christopher Vezina's first year.
No.
But if Christopher Vezina ends the season with anywhere north of 3,000 passing yards, Cole, people are going to be saying, oh, my God, that guy was amazing in his first year.
I mean, what if you ask the question if he finished his career better than Cade Klubnik? I mean, I'm just saying.
Oh.
I mean, it could happen. It could happen.
People might be saying, what took us so long to make the switch?
Yeah. Tyler Brown, TJ Moore, Bryant Wesco. Just imagine Olsen Pat Henry and Steve Angeli back there with those weapons.
Score is good.
Ooh.
Score is really, really good.
That'd be good. So we'll see.
Hey, let's bring on the donut man himself, Rick in Greer, who was not in Greer today. He was in Greenville today. Rick, thank you for the donuts, man. That was a great surprise.
I was delivering donuts for Krispy Kreme today, and I thought you'd like to have some.
Now, were those from someone else's order?
That's what I was just about to ask.
Did you short 2 boxes on someone else's order and bring them to us?
No, I actually had them left. They had them left, and I brought them to you. I thought you would enjoy it.
We very much appreciate them. And Rick, everybody else in the building, there's not a ton of people here this late in the day, but everybody else in the building enjoyed them as well that got one. Well, and we appreciate that.
Let me tell you, I did it because I love your show. You have the best show on the radio, and you two make it a pleasure to listen to the radio.
Wow.
I'm going to go.
Wow.
Jeez, man. You're going to make me tear up,
Rick. I mean, on a Monday, I appreciate that. I mean, that's really kind. It really is. So that was a great call. Well, maybe Rick's best call ever right there.
I mean, we need to put Rick on the board of the South Carolina Broadcasters Association.
Yeah.
Because we didn't get nominated for Sports Show of the Year.
A new show did.
Yeah, I know. We submitted it.
And I don't know the name of the new show.
In theory, we're better this year than we were last year.
You think, right?
But
you're not allowed to submit your first year, are you? No, we weren't on the air for a full year.
Right. We weren't on in the window to get the.
So we had to wait till our second year.
Get to the walls.
Our second year was nominated. Our third year was not.
Right.
So
there you go. Cole, I think it's flat out easy to say that the coaching across the board in the ACC has improved. The middle of the pack coaching, I think, is definitely up. We may not know this till the end of the year, until the final rankings come out. And I think I mentioned this last week, Cole, that people probably will never give it any credit. But the middle of the road coaching for the ACC, the Louisvilles, the Syracuses, the NC States, and I'm not calling them middle of the road coaches. I'm talking results of where they typically finish by the end of the season. Will people believe that the middle of the ACC is catching up to the middle of the SEC, which you could say is any given year mostly like Tennessee, South Carolina, Auburn, Florida? Would you say that the Louisvilles and the Syracuses can pass them?
I think they can, but the reason I'm smiling when you said that is I heard a great quote this morning from Paul Feinbaum, who we were raking over the coals last week, right, for his Dabo comments. Paul Feinbaum was on, I think it was Get Up this morning, one of the morning shows, and talking about the middle of the pack of the conference. Paul Feinbaum, and I'm going to answer your question, but Paul Feinbaum was talking about what Greg Sankey would say at the podium. And Paul said something to the effect, Diesel, of, hey, I think Greg Sankey will do like he always does and say there's not a deeper league than the SEC. But Paul Feinbaum actually said, this is going to come as a shock to you, Paul said, hey, they don't give out trophies for having the deepest league. They give out trophies for whoever wins the national championship. It doesn't matter how deep your league is. So going back to your question, the ACC would love to tout having a deep league. Don't kid yourself. They would cling to anything they could. If they can beat SEC teams, Diesel, consistently in bowl season, if they can consistently beat SEC teams during the regular season, they will hang that banner next year at ACC kickoff. There's no question. I will say, yes, because of the coaching. You brought up the coaching a few minutes ago. I think the ACC, to your point, here we are in 2026. I think the ACC's coaching across the board is as good now as it's been. Can I say the E word?
Ever?
I mean, they've had good coaches, but
they got Bill Belichick
and James Franklin,
who eats half a bagel and puts it back.
Think about it. I mean, you've got Bill Belichick, and I know he hadn't proven anything at the college level. James Franklin, who has. Dabo Swinney's won 2 championships. Rhett Lashley, I think Rhett Lashley is an SEC coach if he wanted to be. I mean, I really do.
I agree. 1,000%.
I think, yeah. I know it sounds crazy, but I think you could say maybe, just maybe, the ACC has the best coaches they've had ever.
The hard part is we're not really going to get a whole lot of opportunities to find out, right? Whether or not these leagues can stack up well against each other. Postseason in the national tournament, you might see some ACC, SEC matchups, but in the regular season, we're just not going to get that many of them. Clemson gets two.
Well, we have less opportunities, right?
Yeah. Louisville is going to play Kentucky. Clemson's going to play both LSU and South Carolina. Let's see. Pitt does not play an SEC team this year. SMU does not play an SEC team this year. Virginia does not play an SEC team this year. You go on down the line, Cole, there's not that many crossover games between the two conferences that we could say that there's a real sample size. And that right there is going to be the thing that makes people discount whether or not the ACC is any better this year. Well, you only had like 4 games. You only had 4 or 5 crossovers. It doesn't mean as much. You have to prove it again next year. These are all the things that people always bring up in these water cooler conversations to tout that the SEC is still better.
And when you talk about bowl games, if one conference beats the other conference in a bowl game, like you said, to your point, what you just said, the first thing is, in the full roster. Nowadays, teams don't even try. It seems like for bowl games, half the roster is not even playing, right? So in 2026, is it really a bragging right to beat somebody in the bowl game? I mean, come on. You remember that Florida State team?
I'll still do it. If my team has its full complement of guys and they go beat, for example, a Mississippi State in a bowl game, I'm still beating my chest and saying App State just beat the SEC.
You should as a fan. But the Mississippi State team will come back, or their fans will come back and say, well, look, we had 34 guys out.
Don't care. That's one of those stages of bargaining.
Well, that's your fault. That's your fault.
Stages of grief.
That's
your coach's fault for not getting the whole team to come and play.
And again, if that scenario were to happen, let's say an App State versus a Mississippi State, the smaller schools, I'm not speaking for all of them, but a lot of these programs at the smaller level, they'd say, hey, you know what? We're not going to opt out. We want to play.
The motivation.
So you can see it. You can see it. I mean, because maybe they're not all going pro. Maybe there's not 14 guys on their roster who have draft grades,
Sure.
So they're playing for more than Clemson last year. I mean, they had several opt-outs in that bowl up there at Yankee Stadium,
which is uncommon for Clemson. They always had done such a great job keeping the vast majority of the team and the starters playing.
Yeah.
Today on the podium in Tampa, you had Oklahoma, Missouri, Kentucky, and Tennessee. We'll try to pull a little bit of audio here and there from Brent Venables, from Eli Drinkwitz. I know you guys will be interested in that. Josh Heupel as well. Tomorrow, Georgia, Auburn, Vanderbilt, South Carolina. Wednesday will be Alabama, Florida, Ole Miss, Texas A&M. Thursday, LSU, Arkansas, Mississippi State, and Texas. Huge opportunity missed, Cole. I know we're going to see these two teams on the field together I think it's in October, but come on. Why could we not get LSU and Ole Miss on the same day at media days?
It'd be too big.
Guys, you missed the opportunity to make this thing more fun than it already is.
If you did that, it would explode and there'll be no other daylight. I mean, really, if you had both of them, it would be the ultimate firecracker.
If they get in a fight at media days, if these players are after each other, if these coaches are after each other on media days, you hear rumors that they had to keep the coaches as far away from each other as possible. That just adds more fuel to the fire when they play.
So Brent Venables, I love to talk about Oklahoma, and we're going to talk a lot of SEC today, tomorrow, Wednesday, and Thursday. We've got guests all week long who are live in Tampa, Florida at SEC Media Days. But here in these last 60 seconds, Diesel, before we run to a break and get the Greg Sankey audio, Brent Venables, I think this is a coach who says all the right things, who under Dabo Swinney, like in that program, Brent Venables, not seeing other coaches in the SEC don't, but Venables knows what it takes to build a program worthy of winning a national championship. I believe last year, if their quarterback doesn't have a hand injury, they maybe are competing for a national championship. I really do believe that. I know Miami and Indiana were there, but John Mateer, the way they were playing that defense, they were as good as anybody last year. So he comes out today and he talks about in the first 5 minutes, forget an opening statement. One of the first things he's talking about is this. This is a line of scrimmage league. And guess who understands that more than Brent Venables? Probably nobody. Probably nobody, because he's a great defensive coordinator, and he understands as good as anybody in the SEC that it is just that, a line of scrimmage league. And you know why I love what Venables said, and I've talked about this 3 or 4 times now already in the past 2 weeks. Miami was in the national championship last year because of the LOS, line of scrimmage. They weren't in the national championship because of Malachi Toney or Carson Beck. While those were big pieces, Diesel, they were there because of line of scrimmage. So Brent Venables, you listen to him, says all the right things. He knows what it takes to get there. I don't know if they're a national championship team this year. Having Mateer back helps if he can stay healthy. But guess what? Going back to quarterback, they've got the quarterback.
Well, he talked a lot, and I caught part of his interview. It wasn't his podium speech; it was his breakout talking to the SEC media crew. He was saying how young they were last year, how inexperienced they were last year. A bunch of dudes coming in as freshmen or their first year at this program, figuring things out and how to do things the Oklahoma way. I got to believe that Oklahoma is going to be a better team this year than they were last year. Where did they finish last year? Do you know off the top of your head what their record was? I'll pull it up here in just a second, Cole. But I think Oklahoma.
It was toward the.
They were 10-3 last year. It's hard to get a whole lot better than 10-3 in this conference. I mean, UTEP's a win on the road at Michigan. I feel like they probably win that game, but I'm going 50-50 on that one right now. New Mexico win at Georgia, probably a loss. Texas in the Cotton Bowl, 50-50. Let's call it a loss. Kentucky is a win. Mississippi State is a win. South Carolina, probably a win. Sorry, Gamecock fans. At Florida, probably a win. Ole Miss, 50-50. The schedule got considerably tougher because they play at Michigan, at Georgia, Texas in a neutral site, at Florida, Ole Miss, Texas A&M. That is a tough schedule for the Oklahoma Sooners. I think it's one of those situations they'll be a better team, but the record won't reflect it.
10-3 is tough to replicate, to your point.
Yeah.
Phil still hasn't predicted to finish 4th in the SEC. You went win-loss there. I see Michigan at Michigan as a very tough game. And boy, you'll be tested early if you're Oklahoma. I mean, I know Michigan's got a new coach, and I think Oklahoma will be favored in that game, Diesel. I do believe so. But that's tough, going to the Big House in week 2 of college football season, and then 2 weeks later you're between the hedges in Athens. Like that right there, that opening 4 weeks for Oklahoma is rough. It really is.
Yeah.
So should be fun.
Tough down the stretch for the Sooners.
It is. We need to get to what Greg Sankey said. We will do it next right here on the Fan Upstate. Now, Diesel, you may say Jim Phillips is a little boring, and maybe you're not the only one that says that. Greg Sankey, how would you describe, what would be if you used boring as the adjective for Jim Phillips, how would you categorize? One word adjective here.
Molasses.
Only one word. For Greg?
For Greg Sankey, molasses. He's moving. He's making moves. It's just slow. It takes forever to develop.
What about diplomatic? You like that? Hate that? It just feels, I don't know. I don't dislike the guy.
Yeah, I would say, and this sounds mean to call him this, but I would almost say disingenuous, because you can tell.
That's mean.
He does the speech, and we're going to hear it here in just a second, Cole. He starts talking about the Save College Sports Act, the SCORE Act, or Protect College Sports, whatever. And he says, you know what? I agree that we need to have some major changes to make things more even across the board. Every kid across the country needs to be playing under the same set of rules. But let me go into all the ways that we need to make sure that this particular piece of legislation is self-serving to us to make sure that we get the better end of this, right? Because it's always about him. It's always about the SEC. It's always about the Big Ten. That's his job, right? I'm not saying anything that's incorrect here. It is his job to politic on behalf of his conference, but that's exactly what he's doing. He's talking about something that needs to be fair for everyone, but let's find a way to make sure that we get the better end of this deal.
Before we get to the audio Tolos, if you just tuned in, welcome into the show. He's Diesel. I'm Cole Bryson. So good to be with you on this Monday. It's been a while since you and I have been back in the studios, Diesel, in the Ingles Market Studios. We were on the road up in Charlotte all last week, thanks to Kapasi Glass. We're back today, a big show. We're going to get into the World Cup in the next segment. SEC Media Day audio coming up at 4 o'clock. Jordan Kay of the State Newspaper live from Tampa, Florida at 4:22. We've got Daily Wire's Overreaction Monday, and we're going to talk Bryson and his stomping. And was it right? Was it wrong? Also, Phil Kornblut, Sports Talk Media Network, also live from SEC Media Day. So we're going to take a trip down to Tampa, not once, but twice today in the show. And Tolos, turn it on, leave it on. And then most importantly, let me just say most importantly, and I'm sorry, Diesel, if this trumps any topic that you and I had on the docket here. But at 5:45, most importantly today, we're going to talk about the Atlanta Braves.
Yeah.
Because the Atlanta Braves look good this weekend.
2 out of 3 putting up runs, even in that game they lost.
It should have been a sweep. They choked in the game that they lost. Mm-hmm. And boy, I'm not being that Dallas Cowboy fan that comes out so easily, but I'm just saying, oh boy, that felt good. What'd you say, 29 runs?
29 runs in 3 games. Now, to be fair, in the first game, I don't know how many runs the Braves scored 15? Off of the position player. Yeah, they threw like a position player out there who was just lobbing up wiffle balls, and they were cranking home runs off of them. And guess what? Dewey's going to have to call in and maybe apologize to old Austin Riley, because Austin Riley was all over the ball.
I'm telling you,
series.
It was fun. We'll talk about the Braves at 5:45, but I'm fired up. That felt good this weekend. I mean, just like if you could paint a perfect picture from the All-Star break of what you wanted this weekend to look like, the only thing perfect would have been, hey, you get to sweep. You did choke on Saturday, but you know what? What a great weekend. And boy, that felt good. You got a tough one coming up, but we're going to talk Atlanta Braves at 5:45. Before we get to anything else, we've got to go to the commissioner of the SEC. He spoke this morning at, I think, 9 a.m. 9 a.m. He was up and at 'em, Diesel, in Tampa, Florida. Mm-hmm. And you and I are going to do a little listen and react. And some of the things you just talked about, the state of college football, the state of the SEC. Well, let's get into it. Pause whenever you want me to, Diesel. Here is your man, Greg Sankey.
So meaningful for so many generations. It's that responsibility and the decisions required to fulfill the responsibility that are my focus this morning. And one of our greatest responsibilities is to establish a stable national framework for college athletics. For more than 6 years, those of us in the conference office, the leaders on our university campuses, Southeastern Conference student athletes and policymakers have worked in good faith seeking the return of national standards through federal legislation. These efforts have demonstrated not only how complex these issues have become, but also have reinforced my belief that congressional action remains a needed path to provide that long-term stability. At its core,
I feel like I'm in church.
it sounds like a straightforward objective. One national standard, a national framework with rules that can be consistently enforced,
3 Red Bulls.
because student athletes, coaches, and universities deserve to compete under consistent standards, regardless of geography. Over and over, our student athletes tell us the same thing. When they line up for kickoff, tip-off in a basketball game, first pitch in the spring, or when they put their feet in the starting blocks at a track meet, they want to know that every competitor from other teams, from different campuses across different states, that those competitors are being held to the same standards that apply to them.
Yeah,
Makes
that's what
sense.
every
Press
athlete cares
releases,
about.
legislative
Yes.
drafts, committee hearings, and political commentary. That message from our student athletes, to me, is the clearest message we have heard.
Can you show some proof there, Greg?
everyone
Can you
the same
produce those
standards.
emails? Is that real, or are you conflating like 2 or 3 emails to every player that competes within our conference?
Of course it's real. Why would he lie? Why would he lie? Him lie?
Yes.
No, not
I
lie.
know all these kids are taking time away from playing Roblox or
They do surveys.
they do surveys. They make sure they get those in on time.
President and his administration in working to address the future of college athletics. Through the fall, the winter, and into the spring,
He needs to do a better job of
that
reading a
bipartisan
teleprompter
work
and like having a little bit of a.
focus
He would not
of
make it
House
as a
of
preacher. He's
Representatives.
too dull to be a preacher.
He is.
Score
You're
Act.
right. Sounds like my
And earlier
history
this
teacher or
summer,
something. You know.
Senators Ted Cruz and Maria Cantwell introduced the Protect College Sports Act.
All right, here we go.
And I want to be clear that we appreciate the tremendous efforts that have gone into these legislative drafting initiatives.
But-
And we're engaged specifically now in ongoing dialogue around improving the Protect College Sports Act. I also want to note, because he's one of the senators in our footprint, the engagement and the work of Senator Schmidt from Missouri. You may not know Senator Schmidt, but he
Schmidt.
did make Sports Center's top 10 plays with one of his catches during the congressional baseball game earlier this summer. That Senate bill contains many provisions that we support and we think are both healthy for college athletics and the participants in college athletics. And just quickly, that includes enhanced expectations for student athlete health and safety, supporting educational opportunities, providing scholarship protections, overseeing agent activity, increasing the
I just read the text
participation of
one.
our
The
student
text one.
athletes in governance, which we as a conference have led in that area for years and actually decades.
Texter, you're wrong for
And
that.
those national standards of which I spoke, particularly in eligibility and transfers. We support the effort behind the Protect College Sports Act. However, we believe changes to the act are necessary to make it most effective. And the changes we've suggested are both achievable and reasonable, and we're committed to working with Congress to move the legislation across the finish line. There are 4 principles that we believe should guide this legislative effort at this time. The first is about those national standards, which must be enforceable. If Congress establishes national rules, individuals and organizations who comply with those rules
Bueller.
should not be subject to
Bueller.
litigation simply for following the law. Without meaningful legal protections, we risk the continuing cycle of uncertainty that has been part of our challenge in college athletics in recent years.
So that first stone or the first objective, whatever, basically he's saying that, and correct me if I'm wrong, you hear something else, that the NCAA, even though it's been around for a long time, it's not strong enough by itself to be able to carry the pail of water, right?
Right.
To be able to carry the load,
Right.
I guess.
They want to make sure that both the NCAA has the legal protections and the schools have the legal protections also, which
Yeah.
it's a valid thing.
No,
you know?
I get it.
I
Yeah.
mean, you know what's going to happen, Cole. And every single time some new rule has come out, it's always been sued, and basically every single one of them has been struck down. You know full well that if the NCAA gets some level of legal protection, well, what are they going to do? Lawyers are going to go after the next biggest institution that they could sue
The
and
government.
get something out of, right? I mean, I guess they could. Well, they can't sue the government. I guess they could.
They'll try.
They could sue the senators that put this thing out. No, they're going to sue the schools.
Yeah.
They're going to sue the schools because the schools are making all this money off of a player's name, image, and likeness, and their efforts and their time and everything they do for the team. So I get it. That is a valid issue to have. Want to make sure that we are protected also. But, you know, I wonder, Cole, and this is just me spitballing out of nowhere, and you can tell me, like, you're way off base. This is ridiculous. You know, I know Greg Sankey had a hand in the SCORE Act, right? There was he went to the White House. He talked to the president. He was part of that huge meeting to help put the SCORE Act together. But it seems as if the SCORE Act has taken a back seat to this new Protect College Sports Act. And I wonder if Greg Sankey is a little butthurt that the legislative framework that he helped put together, i.e. the SCORE Act, which is more of Donald Trump's act that would fix college sports, isn't really the predominant piece of legislation going forward.
I mean, let me tell you this. If that's the case, he's an idiot. You know, who cares?
It doesn't matter
which act it is.
Right.
It doesn't matter if it's Diesel's act or, you know, Stacey Bartrow's act. I mean, it doesn't matter.
You're going to remember her name forever.
I've got it now. But the point is, does it fix the issue? Does it fix the root of the issue?
Right.
Let's see if he can get to those other 3 points before we run to a break. Greg, please make it quick.
Second, the framework should be truly national. The legislation
mean?
moves us in the right direction,
Everybody has the same
but
rules.
it
Well, no.
should more fully replace the growing patchwork of state laws that are conflicting and create competitive differences based upon state borders. Remember that quote from our student athletes. We just want to know that others are held to the same standards.
Regardless of the state.
Third, transparency and accountability are essential. Rules governing name, image, and likeness activity are only effective if they can be enforced. And that requires meaningful transparency so everyone operates under the same expectations and the same level of accountability. Without it, loopholes undermine that competitive fairness expectation.
Number 4 is the biggie, I think.
And then fourth and finally, the legislation should treat similarly situated organizations equally while preserving institutional choice. Whether discussing conference structure or media rights, federal law should establish fair and consistent standards, not different rules for different organizations.
Bingo.
Should preserve the voluntary decision-making rather than mandating outcomes.
That's the biggie right there, Cole.
Let's pause,
concern
Greg.
we've
That's enough.
identified.
That's enough.
That is the biggie right there, because it seems as if, and I'd have to go back and reread. I'm not going to do this. The Protect College Sports Act. It seems like 1, 2, and 3 are check, 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 right? Number 4, I think, is where Greg Sankey's biggest issue lies, because Greg Sankey doesn't like the fact that the Protect College Sports Act basically sets a dollar limit. Remember, it was like, if you make more than X number of dollars, I think it was like $700 million a year or something, you cannot grow your membership. You cannot do this. You cannot do that. But if you are, you can't pull your media rights and all that kind of thing. But if you are a conference that is below that, for example, the G6 conferences, then you can. So he doesn't like the fact that the G6 conferences, that the Sun Belt and Conference USA and the MAC could all get together and pool their media resources. He doesn't like that because the SEC and the Big Ten can't do that.
Yeah, no, I'm with you on that. I'm with you on that.
So I think that's the money one. That's the one where all the financial clout comes from.
Yeah, and like my question is, how do you accomplish all of those 4 without what you said? You know, I mean, like it sounds easy to just say, yeah, those 4 stones are the 4 stones that fix college sports altogether, but Like it's just so much more complicated. That's why I kind of get down sometimes on it. It's just like it's so complicated. As soon as we think something's going to happen, we one step forward, two steps back. It feels like a lot of times.
And they don't want to undo the things that they've built. You remember, part of the Protect College Sports Act was like, we're going to return to regionality, and we're going to push, for example, thought process here. We're going to push Texas and Oklahoma and Texas A&M back over to the Big 12. Y'all have to go back over there. The SEC, and that's the SEC losing money right there. They don't like the thought of that. Mark L on the text line says, hey guys, I finally found something that I can play to put me to sleep at night. Greg Sankey and a melatonin, you might never wake up again.
No doubt. Texter from the 960 says, for a minute, I thought I was listening to the afternoon drive show on the Roar. Texter, that's funny but bad, I think. I didn't say that. Those weren't my words, but it was. I'm reading a text. That's funny, though. Oh, good stuff.
When we come back, texters and callers and Cole Bryson as well, very quickly, this might be the end of our conversation on it. What will you remember the 2026 World Cup for? The good, the bad, and the ugly of the World Cup 2026. We'll talk about it next. Well, Tolos, I can tell you, if you're trying to get your toddlers to go to sleep, we will replay that Greg Sankey audio on demand, and we can make that happen for you right here
That's
on
a
the
good
Fan
idea,
Upstate. Tolos and Cole, Spain are your World Cup champions in an ugly, boring, sleep-inducing match yesterday. Argentina didn't even get a shot on goal the entire game, which is absolutely absurd. First time in 60 years that a World Cup final ended with one team not getting a shot on goal.
How does that happen?
Pathetic. Well, it's because Messi walks around the whole game. He didn't actually do anything. He's barely involved.
You know, I was talking to one of our Tolos, Brandon in Spartanburg, Diesel, who you and I both met at Ingles one time. I was talking to him earlier today. I saw him out, and him and I were talking about the World Cup. And I told him the same thing I'll tell you. If you're telling me that this is the biggest event on the biggest stage and I'm forced to watch and it ends in 0-0 or 0-0, I just can't do it. Like,
I get
it. There's just no way. And it's like I said to Brandon this morning, there's a lot of people. I understand some people who are just locked in, like it's their thing. They love it. No disrespect. But Diesel, it ended scoreless.
Spain plays amazing defense. They gave up exactly one goal this entire World Cup.
That's
their
unbelievable.
defense is incredible.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, hey, think about it in football terms, Cole. You watch a game where it's like Alabama versus Florida, and Alabama beats them, I don't know, like 28-0 or 28-3, and you're saying, wow, Alabama is so good. You know, you don't really fault Florida that much in those situations. You give Alabama credit.
Yeah.
And Spain deserves the credit. Their defense is amazing.
And I remember a national championship game one time where Alabama played Notre Dame. It was a BCS national championship, and maybe it was 20. I'm just going to pull a year out. Maybe it was 2011, and Bama beat the brakes off of them. 2012, something like that. Bama killed them. Awful game, but you know what there was? Scoring. Somebody scored in the game, and both teams actually scored.
42-14. That
Did it say
was
the year?
2013.
13. Okay, a little off there.
So 2012 season.
So it was a beatdown, but wouldn't you rather watch a beatdown where people at least score? Like,
Yeah.
you go, and I know there's a soccer guy out there right now who's just MFing us, and I understand. But Diesel, there's got to be something there for me. Give me something.
Does it come down, Cole, to the very simple explanation of offense is for the simpletons, because that's amazing. We see scoring and we understand. Defense are for the true connoisseurs.
Offense sells tickets.
It's true.
It always has.
But defense wins championships.
I mean, it does. And Spain, like, give them all the credit in the world. I mean, that's awesome, phenomenal. But 0-0, 0-0.
The good, the bad, and the ugly very quickly here on this World Cup, as far as I could see it, Cole. There were a handful of really exciting games. You know, Argentina kept cheating death throughout this entire run. The two late goals they had against England to beat them, phenomenal. England had 2 late goals against Mexico in the round of 16. That was great. Norway shocked Brazil. That was great. We had 4 different games in the knockout phase end on penalty kicks. That's great. That's amazing. I thought the expansion to 48 teams created some legitimate Cinderella stories. Cape Verde, Morocco, Colombia, Norway, all those teams reach Norway reaching the quarterfinals with Erling Haaland becoming a global star was great. Fol Balogun emerging as the face of USA Soccer was great. The incredible social media stories were great. The passing of the torch from Messi to Lamine Yamal of Spain, that was great. The bad, hydration breaks. What are we doing here? We really created those just for commercial advertising. The controversy surrounding Argentina constantly getting favorable calls. Flo Balogun's red card that had to be reversed with a presidential phone call. That's not a precedent we want to set in international soccer for the host nation's leader to be calling FIFA. And the ugly, Cole, the finals. Finals were ugly. Argentina, the only team in the last 60 years to not get a shot on goal in the World Cup finals. And the thought that we're expanding to 64 for 2030. They better start playing this thing like 2 weeks from now if they want to get 64 teams through this field.
More audio from Tampa, Florida. We're not there live, but we basically are in this next segment. SEC Media Days will go right to Tampa for the next 3 hours right here on the Fan Upstate.
on the defensive side of the football. Extremely excited about bringing Jim Knowles and some of his staff to Rocky Top. Through our conversations, we're able to have seamless communication, clear communication on expectations, but what are the things that he was looking for in a landing spot, and some things that were inevitably going to be important in year one. You look at his track record of developing elite defenses everywhere that he's been, his ability to adapt to different personnel at the different stops and structurally be a little bit different, but put his personnel in a position to be elite. That's one of the things that was important to me in finding the right guy, and extremely excited about Jim, but also some of the staff. It was important.
Internet issues. All right, we'll stop it there.
We haven't been
there we go.
Coordinator before, going to a new university, understanding you want to be.
All right, that's Josh Heupel. We'll let it buffer for a minute. We're having some slow internet days here in the studios, but it's okay. Josh Heupel spoke this morning at SEC Media Days in Tampa. Diesel. And I want to know from you, and I also want to know from our Tolos out there at 844-326-3663. Get in on the conversation. Phone lines are open. Text line, the Joy Law Firm text line is open as well. You can also comment on the stream, YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook. 38 Tolos watching the show, the stream right now on those three platforms. Where are we on Tennessee and Josh Heupel? We'll get to some other audio in this segment as well from SEC Media Days. But, you know, we spent a lot of time last week talking about the ACC and coaches who weren't getting it done in the ACC. But to me, and I want to hear what you think, and Diesel the Tolos as well, it feels as if Josh Heupel made a grand entrance in the Tennessee, in the Knoxville. I was really pleased, excited, enthralled by what he did. And maybe it's just me, but you tell me if I'm wrong here, if you feel differently. It feels like those fireworks have kind of been brought down a little bit instead of the big bad mother that shot off when he took the job. It's been a little bit more like one-shot cannons lately for Josh Heupel in Tennessee. The excitement just not there, Diesel.
Yeah, I mean, things have sort of fallen back to the median, right? He had years where he was really, really good at Tennessee. And those years were quarterback dependent, right? He had to have, was that 1 year that was really good? He had Nico as his quarterback. Am I right about that? That was Nico's really good season. I mean, he's still 45-20 overall at Tennessee. And
still good.
Unfortunately, in the SEC, where the hair triggers are as short as possible or as soft as possible, Tennessee's going to fire him. I mean, I don't think he's quite on the same level of hot seat right now today as like an Eli Drinkwitz or potentially a Shane Beamer. I think his seat's just a little bit cooler than Shane Beamer's. But Cole, all it would take would be a bad showing at Georgia Tech in week 2, like a loss. Imagine Tennessee taking a loss at Georgia Tech with a new quarterback in Atlanta and then a really bad showing against Texas, and that's very possible, or versus Texas, and then follow that up with a loss to Auburn. Josh Heupel might be gone by midway through the season.
And you know, that's what I think is interesting about Josh Heupel is he was 8-5 a season ago. But to your point, like the overall record, that's pretty good. What'd you say, 45-20? Is that right?
45-20.
It's not bad. And 8-5 certainly at a program like Tennessee, 8-5 seems a little down. You know, Tennessee has high expectations. They're in the SEC. They expect to compete for a conference championship. And let's just be blunt, they hadn't been. And before Josh Heupel got there, they had some rough goes there, Diesel. They had some rough goes. And Tennessee fans thought, oh, this guy in Josh Heupel comes in, we're in good shape. The problem is now we're in year 6. This is year 6 of Josh Heupel. And in year 5, he went 8-5. And if you look at his year-by-year results, it should be going the other way. And again, you brought up the schedule. The schedule's it's an SEC schedule. Mm-hmm. It's tough. They open up with Furman. That's going to be a tough one, right? Furman's going to beat them at week 1. We're going to get them, baby. Yeah. But I'm kidding, but not really. So my point being, he does have a big season coming up.
In his 5 seasons at Tennessee, 7-6, 11-2. Hendon Hooker was the quarterback at Tennessee that year. 9-4
baby.
in 2023. 10-3 in 2024. That's when they had Nico. 2025 last year, 8-5
Okay.
with Joey Aguilar.
Okay.
And remember, they had to scramble to find Joey Aguilar to come in and play.
Can you give me those one more time?
Yeah.
Those results.
7-6.
That was his first season.
2021.
I'll give him a pass there.
4-4 in conference play, by the way. 11-2 in 2022. 6-2 in conference. 2023, they won 9 games, but they were 4-4 in conference. 2024, they win 10 games, go 6-2 in conference. 2025, they win 8 games, 4-4 in conference. And they won 3 straight bowl games, by the way. 22, 3, and 4. They won the Orange Bowl, the Citrus Bowl, and the Citrus Bowl. Which is a better run than Tennessee has had
It
for
is.
a long, long time.
It is, but what's weird
They can
about
always
those?
go back to the Derek Dooley days.
Yeah. Hey, I like Derek Dooley, by the way. He was at my Cowboys for a couple of years coaching wide
Not
receivers.
Derek Dooley. What's his son's
But,
name? His son was head coach, right?
I can't think of his son. I thought you were going to say Butch Jones days. I mean, you talking about rough, not long ago, right? Butch Jones back in 2014, 15, 16, whenever Butch Jones champion of life teams, right?
That was a rough time.
That's a rough time for Tennessee.
The best radio I ever heard was actually a streaming show. It was an online only call in post game Tennessee Vols show where fans who were leaving Neyland Stadium could call in and leave like a 30-second max length voicemail.
Yeah.
And they just played them.
Mm.
I mean, no edits, no nothing. I mean,
that's
it was
ballsy.
Vicious.
I love that.
It is Derek Dooley. I was thinking his
was
dad
Derek-
was Vince, right?
Yeah, Derek was the one I remembered. You're right. Derek from Tennessee. Diesel, I'll just say this about Josh Heupel. We all know that the SEC's tough, but 4-4 in the SEC, you mentioned that 4-4 record a couple of years ago. Last year they were also 4-4. So now he's gone 4-4 a few times. Your overall record, not saying it doesn't matter, but like if you're a 500 ball coach in the SEC, you're not going to have a long shelf life. You're just not saying you're not a bad. I think Josh Heupel's a good coach. I really do.
Such a fine line between 6-2 and 4-4 in this conference. So it is razor thin.
Let's go through their schedule real quick since Heupel spoke. Let's see. By the way, you said this earlier in the show. The schedule today: Kentucky, Missouri, Oklahoma, Tennessee. We'll talk about Kentucky and Missouri and Oklahoma as well here in just a minute. But Tennessee's that's a big one today. It's a big one today. Tennessee, according to old Phil Steele, the machine himself, who's never wrong, they have the 22nd most difficult schedule in 2026. They do open up hosting Furman. Are you going to go to Knoxville to cheer on your Paladins?
My Paladins?
Well, you're married into the Paladins now.
I'm married into the Paladin family. Yeah.
You have to go to support them. Knoxville is a fun place to watch a game.
Can I carpool with Clay Hendricks?
You could probably get a spot on the bus. I mean,
Yes.
maybe in the bottom, but maybe on the bus. Knoxville's like sardines. The one time I went, man, you are in there like sardines.
Yeah.
Ohio State is too, but Knoxville, you are sitting. You have no.
So Neyland Stadium is one of those where they increased capacity but didn't build anything new.
Yeah, and if
just
you're a woman, it's fine. If you're a
Peel off the
guy,
stickers and move them closer together.
yeah, and if you're a man, you have to bring your knees, and your knees have to touch. It's not comfortable. It's just not.
Mhm.
It's not comfortable. So they open it with Furman, 1-0. They go to Georgia Tech, and I think Diesel, you and I both think they probably start 2-0, right? Haynes Kingless, Georgia Tech. You going 2-0 there for the Volunteers?
Yeah.
Kennesaw State 3-0.
3-0.
So all's good in the world until you get in the conference play. That's my point. Like you go beat these Furmans and Georgia Techs and Kennesaw State, but at the end of the day, what does that really mean for Tennessee fans?
Kennesaw State wasn't bad last year. By the way.
No, but the Tennessee fans, they don't want to hear that.
Remember, though, Tennessee has a history of playing down in those early weeks. They got beat by Georgia State a couple of years ago, and Georgia State has been god-awful forever.
Yeah. All right, let's go to what the games that matter here. The next week after they probably start 3-0, they host Texas, and that's going to be extremely tough. But look, let's be fair here. If you're 3-0 hosting Texas, while that will be tough for Tennessee, I'll put the hose right back on the Longhorns here and say, hey, it's going to be tough for you guys as well, because let's not act like this is a Texas team that just doesn't lose games they're not supposed to lose. My point being, I think it's going to be, I don't know about equally tough, but Diesel, I think that's going to be very tough for Arch Manning. Arch Manning coming into a year where he's going to win, and he's going to win pretty quick. I think that'll be a tough environment for Arch, just as much as it'll be a tough game for Tennessee, because they're going up against a really good team in Texas.
Well, you got to dodge linebackers, and you also have to dodge golf balls that are coming out of the stands. That's
True.
always tough. With Texas, Cole, they have Texas State, Ohio State, UT San Antonio, and then they go on the road for the very first time that season against Tennessee. So, I mean, they'll simulate noise in practice, and that's great. But, Neyland Stadium's loud. It's very vertical. It's straight up and down.
But
it's going to be tough.
Especially at 3-0, it's loud. I mean, it's loud. They're 3-0.
And if it's a night game, good luck.
Think about that. You've got Arch Manning coming in. And I don't have I'll pull Texas' schedule up. I don't know. Let's say they're both 3-0. I know Phil still has Texas pretty high this year as well. They've got Texas. Yeah, they will be. Listen, Texas State. Oh, no. I'm sorry. I forget about Ohio State. They have Texas State, UTSA, and Ohio State. So if they were to beat Ohio State, they're in that 3-0 category as well. You're talking about two teams 3-0 in that week, that September 26th matchup. That'd be huge. Just huge. I mean, talking college game day type matchup atmosphere that night in Knoxville. Place to be loud. So I don't know. I'm gonna go loss there, but a bounce back the next week at Auburn. So I have them
home game against Auburn.
Yes, home game against Auburn. So I'm gonna have them 1, 2, 3, and 4-1 after that 5-game stretch. What do you like 4-1 or 5-0?
I like 4-1. Maybe it's because we just came off of ACC media days, but man, I think highly of Brent Key and Georgia Tech. And if this Tennessee team, he said they just added a new defensive coordinator,
Jim Knowles. Yeah.
Jim Knowles. And last year, Tennessee's defense was number 92 in the country. They were bad. They were getting torched through the air, 245 yards per game they gave up through the air. They also gave up another 150 a game on the ground. If they can't immediately get that under control, Cole, I think week number 2 against Georgia Tech might be scary. I don't think Georgia Tech beats them.
If it is, then Josh Heupel's not your guy.
I know.
I mean, he's just not.
I mean, you could see Josh Heupel being fired by the bye week, which is Halloween.
If you're struggling with a Haynes Kingless Georgia Tech, I don't think Georgia Tech is going to be that good this year. That's not the guy. So I have them losing to Texas 4-1, Auburn 5-1. I'm sorry, 1, 2, 3, 4-1 after Auburn. At Arkansas, I'll probably go 5-1 there. Bama loss. So you're 5-2. You're at South Carolina. I mean, how good is this? What is it? Fazion Brandon, the freshman.
Mm-hmm.
He's a freshman quarterback. I think I right now would lean Carolina on that game. In Williams-Brice, I do. I think I would lean South Carolina right now.
Tennessee is 1-3 straight up in their last 4 trips to Williams-Brice Stadium.
Yeah,
Gamecocks just beat Tennessee in Columbia.
Yeah, I think again, this is why it's such a big year for Josh Heupel. Like, I have them starting out 3-0, but then they're going 3-1, 4-1, 5-1, 5-2. I say 5-3. They'll beat Kentucky at 6-3. I think they lose at A&M, and they're 6-4.
Mm-hmm.
They're 6-5 after LSU, and you beat Vandy, you're 7-5. So you improve, and I think I did that right. Maybe I'm off. You go 8-5 last year. You're 7-5 at the end of the regular season.
Yeah.
What a Tennessee fan. I mean,
that's hard. I mean,
do you fire a coach at 7? I mean, I don't know. It's kind of similar to Beamer, isn't it?
But it all, I guess at that point, it depends on who's available, right? It depends on who has really shown out in the ACC, who's shown out in the Big 12.
Man.
Is Tennessee? I mean, could you imagine? And this is just me, pure joy of the Schadenfreude. What if James Franklin is amazing at Virginia Tech this year? Tennessee fires Josh Heupel, and they say, you know what, James, come on down here. We know you've had success in the state. It never happened. It never happened. But how fun would that be?
Yeah, be interesting. I think Josh Heupel's in a weird spot. I really do. Let's go to Brent Venables. What did Brent Venables have to say on set this morning at SEC Media Days? Mr. Venables, the floor is yours.
Up there today, for us to be who we want to be, you're emphatic. We have to run the ball.
Yeah.
What gives you the confidence that you guys will be able to do that this year?
Well, there's lots of layers to it. And again, a year ago, we had 9 first-year starters on offense, and it looked like it. Lack of confidence, lack of chemistry, lack of cohesion, lack of consistency. We had 3 guys up front that were freshmen. How do freshmen play? Most of the time, freshmen, the same thing I just said, apply to the freshmen. They have doubt. They're not functionally strong yet. They can't anticipate because they've never been there before. They haven't gone through the fire. And so I think we gained great experience there. Jake Macula, a year ago, he had just gotten to campus at this time. And so he went from January all the way to then without even being in a college football program because he was in the portal. And so the training, the preparation, the readiness, showed up. And then being better around that offensive line. We completely transform our tight end group. John's going to have, a lot of better weapons to help him. He's healthy. And so I think all of those things, together help us efficiently be a better unit. And, we need to be a lot closer to 150 than 100. And if we are, I think that's going to bleed over into every other part of our team because when you can't run the ball, it does. It puts pressure everywhere. It puts pressure in your kicking game, in the field position. It certainly puts pressure in you giving the ball back to your opponent and not able to bleed that thing out when you need to and things of that nature. So it'll help us overall be a better team. And it's not just, you got better runs or it's just a year older. There's fundamentals, there's drills, there's mentality, there's complementing pieces, there's better depth. It's another year of those 4 guys being together. And we haven't had that, and the year prior, we had 10 different starting offensive line lineups because of injuries.
Diesel, I believe most pundits believe in Brent Venables. Mm-hmm. And I hear Brent Venables talk, and you just, guy knows football, right? He knows what he's talking about. He's been around it. He's coached for a long time, won at the highest level as an assistant coach, obviously right here in this state. And I hope, here's where I am on Oklahoma, a month and a half, 2 months away from the season, whatever we are. I hope he's right. I hope he's right that they're a better team because they were really good last year. They went 10-3, like you said earlier. I hope they can run the ball better. I hope their defense, quarterback, all that, because they have the 5th most difficult schedule in the country. And we talked about it a little bit earlier in the show, but these are all that sounds great. You and I today can plant the flag. We can be team OKLAHOMA all we want, but you're at the Big House week 2. 2 weeks later, you're in Athens. The next game, you're hosting Texas. 3 weeks later, you got South Carolina, Florida back-to-back. Oh, then, by the way, you have Ole Miss, A&M back-to-back. This is going to be a very tough test in Brent Venables' 5th season.
Yeah, Brent's saying, hey, what happened to our SoCon showdown in November? Why didn't we get one of those teams? Look, this was a really, really good defense last year. Number 7 in the country on defense last year. The offense was the biggest struggle. And he said, getting John Mateer back could make hay this year. Last year, the offense was number 79 in the country. 118 on the ground, 235 through the air. 235 through the air, if you've got a run game, is an interestingly balanced kind of team, Cole. But when you're down there putting up offensive numbers comparable to San Diego State, UAB, and Louisiana, you're not going to win a whole lot of games in the SEC. And I understand they went 10-3 last year, but you said it. This year, the schedule gets so much harder.
And for Venables to be a defensive guy, putting up 354 yards of offense on average, that's not bad in 2025. They had a really good quarterback. I think the world of John Mateer. I think he's next level dude. I mean, he is a very good college quarterback. I just don't know. I don't know, Diesel, when you talk about the whole body of work we saw last year, it's a long season. I mean, you might look great in week 4, but what are you in week 10? And last year in week 4, they were putting up offense. I mean, I can just tell you, they put up 515 yards of offense, followed by 355, 258, 319, 359 at Ole Miss. Put up offense, but late in the season, again, Mateer's injury, 212, 276, a lot of different numbers there. So
Yeah.
it's going to be tough with that schedule they have.
Depth is going to be a big piece. They bring back 6 offensive starters from last year, 7 offensive starters off of defensive starters off of last year's team. Speaking of next level, Cole, let's bring on a next level guest who is at SEC Media Days right now as we speak. Jordan Kay of the State Newspaper going to join us next. Well, Cole and I did our duty last week at ACC kickoff, and this week we go to the man, Jordan Kay of the State Newspaper. He joins us right here live on location in Tampa at SEC Media Days. Now, Jordan, the ACC Media Days were maybe a little muted compared, hopefully, to the stories that we've heard about SEC Media Days in the past. I'm just wondering, how many tailgaters are there out in front of the Marriott Hotel? Have you seen anybody wearing a Conestoga wagon on their head? What take us down there. Tell us about the scene.
I haven't been outside yet, so I have no idea. But yesterday we rolled up and they had some like fan fest on the day before with all this free food, and they were doing like SEC Nation from out there. There had to be a couple hundred people, and I'm just like, what are these people doing? It's a Sunday afternoon. And they showed up to like the outside of the Lightning Arena to get behind Paul Feinbaum. It was just crazy. Every year it seems like there's some people looking for autographs and pictures, and it is pretty cool for folks, either if they're visiting or live in Tampa, to kind of see head coaches, see players. It was a lot easier at in Atlanta last year at the College Football Hall of Fame. So no one has tried to sneak up that I'm aware of, but I'm sure there's people outside the Marriott waiting for the players and coaches to walk into the hotel.
It just means more, right, Jordan? This Cole, man. Appreciate you hopping on with us. I mean, what do we make of it? I know this isn't like a big deal, but I'm just curious. Greg Sankey this morning said next year you're back to Nashville. The SEC Media Days were a mainstay in Hoover for a long time. Does the SEC enjoy, from what you have gathered, the bouncing around of locations, or do you think they're trying to find that sweet spot like the ACC has in Charlotte?
I think they enjoy bouncing around, and because they have a lot of cities to appease. And I think this is kind of a way of doing that. It's on a far, far, far lesser scale. But you think of what, the NFL does, where, the Super Bowls kind of go to the dome cities, and then, the draft goes to the kind of the colder cities, places that might not get the Super Bowl. And it's, that's in some ways what Media Days is. It's a way for the SEC to kind of reach out to different local sports commissions, and the sports commissions, the cities kind of get a put on and get some tax dollars from hotels and stuff like that, and have a footprint in the SEC, and the SEC gets a little closer to certain programs year after year. So I imagine they'll be hopping around for a while.
Jordan, can we get it to Greenville? Come in, bring it to Greenville. Is that out of the realm of possibility? Can you put in a good word for us?
I know I don't think it's insane. A little crazy, but I think it's possible.
Well, we got a brand new convention center district coming to downtown Greenville, Jordan.
Talk to your senator.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, we'll get our mayor on the line and tell him to put in make it happen.
I'm sure it's a check. I'll get it done.
Jordan, in the last segment, we talked about the job that Josh Heupel has done. It's been kind of up and down for Tennessee over the years, some really, really good years and some kind of mediocre years, all of them better than previous regimes. I don't think any Tennessee fans would argue that. But, as well as I do, those Tennessee fans think everything should happen in a linear fashion. If you win 8 games this year, you should win 9 next year, 10 the next year, and it should be all national titles after that. How warm do you believe the Josh Heupel seat is?
Not warm at all. I think he has. I think he's built up a lot of grace with that fan base, who endured a long, long drought of any semblance of winning. And then what Heupel has done, just kind of in building consistency. You're right; it hasn't been linear, but it hasn't fallen off a cliff in any sense. So I think that's given him a lot of leeway right now. The other thing is, I think Tennessee's still kind of waiting for its stability at quarterback. I think there were a lot of people who thought Nico was going to bring that. Didn't happen. So now last year, they had to move on to a new quarterback, made the playoff this year. All of a sudden it's a new quarterback. So, I think there also should be some added grace of not really having a quarterback, and perhaps the guy they named the starter this year is going to be that fixture. But what he's done and the consistency, also the points. I mean, every year, a different quarterback, doesn't matter. Tennessee is putting up points. They just went and got Jim Knowles, one of the most highly sought after defensive coordinators in the country, brought him in, took Indiana's director of, I think, nutrition or something like that. So they're kind of putting the foundation pieces and keep stacking them up.
Yeah, but Jordan, how can you not have a quarterback? I mean, Josh Heupel was a quarterback, and it's his job to bring in elite quarterbacks.
I think that's a good fit. Yes, I don't think they expected to lose Nico, and I think they might have been trying to thinking their quarterback was going to get another year of eligibility. They also were in the sweepstakes for Sam Levitt and Brendan Sorsby and just missed out on those. But you're right, that is a coaching thing.
Talking to Jordan Kay of the State Newspaper. He is live in Tampa, Florida at SEC Media Days. Always love talking SEC and Gamecock football, which we'll get to here in a second with Jordan. These SEC Media Days are interesting. We talked about Tennessee there, but Brent Venables spoke this morning as well, Jordan, and was on set with SEC Now on TV earlier today on the SEC Network. Venables saying that the run game, the team overall, 2026 will be better than it was in 2025. They went 10-3, won 10 games, Jordan, in 2025. We know what happened with their quarterback and the injury at the end of the season. We saw his quarterback and how good he was, how effective he was. In your mind, though, with a guy like Venables, who has been to the mountaintop and as assistant coach here in this state, with a team here in this state, what is the process like for being able to do it against the very best of the best when you talk about how deep this SEC is?
Yeah, he said that. And I'm thinking back. I'm like, geez, I don't know if he realizes how hard 10 wins is. But,
right.
A lot of those wins were they were ugly, kind of gutted out wins, which if you're on the optimism side, you're saying, those could have been prettier. We could have been even better. But, man, they could have lost a lot of those games too. I think that's Brent Venables kind of puffing his chest out a little bit and saying, hey, I know our offense is going to be good. We got our starting quarterback returning, and I know the defense is going to be good because I'm the one calling it. And that's kind of the bravado that Brent Venables seemed to give off last year when he was asked, hey, why are you calling the defense again? And he said, because I'm good at it. And that's kind of, it seems like, the MO that team kind of took on last year with, our Mason Thomas and a bunch of other dudes on that defense who just turned into absolute studs in Brent Venables' system. So I think he seems to have a lot of trust in Ben Arbuckle, the OC, and John Mateer, the quarterback, of, hey, they're going to figure out that side of the ball, and I got the defense, and that's going to lead to wins.
Another coach that's there that a lot of people, Jordan, might say is on the hot seat is Eli Drinkwitz of Missouri. Now, he's got a good quarterback coming in. Austin Simons from Ole Miss last year. He's a highly touted guy, and they're coming off of an 8-win season. I know that Eli Drinkwitz is kind of a mad hatter when it comes to running offenses. He's a guy that didn't play, but he just sees the offense in a different way. Is this another example of Missouri having potentially a better team than went 8-5 last year, but by the nature of their top 21, I think, schedule toughness in America, ends up with a worse record, and that's all she wrote for Eli?
I don't think Eli Drinkwitz is on the hot seat. I think he's kind of a year away from being a year away. What he's done at that program, I mean, think about where it was, kind of after those mid-2010s. I mean, they were bad for a couple of years there. He got in, was, I think, SEC Coach of the Year in 23, had really good seasons, 24, even 8 wins in 25. I mean, that's pretty solid, and they're right in the hunt for the playoffs. So I don't think he's on the hot seat by any stretch. The one thing is, I mean, Eli's all about the offense, and this year, I mean, they've lost a lot of really good offensive linemen, and the health of Ahmad Hardy, their star running back, got up in the air after he got shot this summer. I mean, not to make light of it, but it's kind of crazy. And this guy now has to return. They seem to be pretty optimistic. Eli kind of said, hey, 6 to 8 weeks. The season starts at 6.5 weeks. So if it ends up being 8 weeks and he's fully ready to go, hey, he could be back. They could be back, and they have one of the best running backs in the country. It does all kind of hinge on that quarterback. And but what we've seen kind of from Eli Drinkwitz is they have a lot of guys around the quarterback that they don't always necessarily need, some star at that position.
Jordan Kay of the State Newspaper. Let's go back even earlier, 9 a.m. this morning. We played audio from Greg Sankey earlier in the show, and more of a listen and react type segment. He obviously talked about some of the help that he thinks would be good for college football, what his opinion is there. Is there anything that Greg Sankey said this morning that you heard when it comes to saving college football, the Save College Football Act or the SCORE Act. I know there's a couple of different acts out there that you feel as if
Yeah.
Jordan has enough actual momentum? Because to me, a lot of times this all just feels like what we're doing now, talking season.
Yeah. I think the most interesting thing he said was alluding to the fact that the talks about the SEC possibly breaking off, that's real. And what he said is basically like, hey, you flip on the news this morning, or read the New York Times, the front page. What they're talking about, a lot of things that aren't more important than saving college football. The government has a lot more problems right now than college athletics, and if anyone is trying to get the to be saved from that, it's probably not going to happen. I mean, he seems to be against the bill and like some of the fact that there's kind of legislation being introduced, but certainly doesn't seem to love all the parts of that bill. I have no idea if it's going to pass. It sort of seems unlikely given the way it's written. Maybe that could be tweaked a little bit, but it seems like the SEC, if they don't like where everything's at in maybe a year or 2 years, or maybe it's even sooner, it seems okay to maybe eventually pull the trigger and break away, which, man, who knows what that would cause.
Jordan, does he not see how boring that would be? If the SEC broke away and increased to 18 or increased to 20, or if they really wanted to, they could probably go grab just about anyone they wanted. They could go to whatever size they wanted. But at what point do you look at it and say, this is just bad for sports? Not just the SEC. This is just bad for sports because it's dull to play the same teams exclusively every year.
There is no chance that people are going to just want to watch the SEC compete for its own national championship. That would be the worst thing ever. I don't think that's. This is where it all gets into this kind of logistical quandary. It's like, okay, you do break away. Like, what does that even mean? Like, does that mean that you're going to now create this model that everyone else is going to join? Does that mean there's going to be these super conferences? Is the Big Ten involved in this? Like, how do other schools profit from this? What's the TV look like? I mean, there's a million questions that come with the idea, but it just kind of signals like they're at least talking about it. And I think the hope would be that they would act and others would follow. I think that would probably be the goal more than, hey, the SEC is going to play the 12-game schedule all against itself and going to hold a quasi-national championship in Atlanta every year.
Jordan, my last question for you. Tomorrow, Shane Beamer, South Carolina, in attendance in Tampa. Gamecock fans, I heard from a lot of them, you have as well, we all have, they didn't love the excitement around the spring tour this year. I talked to several fans and said, the heck with a spring tour. We just want to win. We don't want to hear from Beamer. We want to win. Is there anything that can be said tomorrow to excite this fan base to get them ready for first game here in about a month and a half?
I don't know that there's going to be anything really. That's interesting you said that, because I feel like I kind of came away from those things feeling the exact opposite.
Really?
I'm like, wow, like Shane's kind of
he's that good.
Me back into this. Yeah, he talked me back into this whole thing. I think the only thing you can say is like, hey, all the bad parts of last year, the offensive line, the offensive coordinator, like it's all gone. We starting fresh. We got Kendall Briles in there. He's going to make things better. We got a new offensive line coach. He's going to make things better. Heck, we got an entire new offensive line. They're going to make things better. Defense is going to be good enough, and the offense is better. Like, I mean, that's basically all you can say. And you got to hope that all comes together, and then you can finish games. I mean, for as bad as the record was last year, I mean, they probably should have beat Alabama. Probably should have beat Texas A&M. I mean, Shane will talk about some of the others of, we had a chance to win against Missouri and someone else, Clemson. But it's like, you watch those games and, they were never the better team in those games. They were the better team against Alabama and Texas A&M. So, I think the only things he can say are just keep harping upon the fact that all the bad of last year is gone and there are new, fresh faces that are going to make things better.
Jordan, how disappointed are you that the SEC chose not to schedule Ole Miss and LSU on the same day at Media Days? Like, I understand we have this game coming up, and that's going to be incredible, must-watch TV. But, I mean, come on, this league, it should be all about getting every eyeball they can, even in the offseason. Missed opportunity.
See, I think they would say the opposite, because you're going to get all the Ole Miss stuff one day, and then you're going to have to talk about LSU the next day. I mean, that's 2 full days of content. I mean, you got to really be thinking here. They also don't people don't really walk in. You could probably go a whole day without really walking into someone. So it's not that crazy. And people, I'm guessing, from the LSU and Ole Miss beats are going to stay for the other day. So, hey, they just got 2 days out of this 4-day event that are going to be top stories on ESPN.
Milk the cow.
That's
Milk the cow. Yeah, as long as you can. Jordan, you're the best. Always appreciate you joining us live from Tampa. We'll talk to you again real soon.
Thanks, fellas. Have a good one.
Jordan
Thanks,
Kay
Jordan.
of the State Newspaper, again, live at SEC Media Days. How about it, man? How about it? They're bouncing around. And it sounds like Greg Sankey's A-OK, bouncing around, Diesel, just changing city, changing this place, changing that place. I don't know how soon they'll settle on a place, but it's interesting to see their thought process of bringing SEC Media Days to different locations.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, I know you've got, theoretically, you've got a fan base that will travel and follow you and go just about anywhere. I'm not sure that they have that in the ACC.
I was about to ask you.
Imagine moving it to Dallas.
Well, I was going to ask you,
year.
if they were to move it, where would they move it to?
Gosh,
You can't move it to Dallas.
You can't move it to Dallas.
You're
No,
just not even close.
No,
If you're not in Charlotte, where would the ACC go?
DC maybe. Couldn't put it in Columbia. You could,
Maybe DC.
Charleston, maybe, but that's still really close to South Carolina. Do you put it? Gosh,
That's what I'm saying. Charlotte, is it that
you
their
put it
only
in
option?
Atlanta, try to steal a little bit of mojo away from SEC on those years where it's not in
DC's
Atlanta.
not a bad thought. You've
But-
got how many schools in Florida? One.
But I've
Miami?
never liked the ACC basketball tournament when they moved it to DC, or they tried moving it to Brooklyn, New York. I think it sucks.
Yeah, maybe. You had some history in Greensboro.
Yeah.
I mean, you just, I don't know.
Take it to Syracuse. Let's all go to Syracuse.
New
July.
York. Might be I don't know. That's a fun one. Where would they go? A couple of texts real quick on the Joy Law Firm text line. Texter says from the 615, this is Buckeye Mike. I wanted to get to this. He said, Jim Knowles is overrated. I said that when Ohio State hired him. I never liked him or never liked the hire from the start. Eric and Greer gets in. He says, you know what? I'm going to remember about the World Cup. All caps, nothing.
Whoa, what a take from Eric.
Yeah, nothing. Mark L., I think you read this one, says, hey, guys, I finally found something that I can play to put me to sleep. That was talking about the Greg Sankey audio.
Yep.
And look, Eric, I understand. I don't disagree with you. Yesterday was, I'm ready for football. Bring it on. I just can't do it. I will say this. I did enjoy us having something to talk about this summer other than it being nothing. And I do think the World Cup helped Diesel and I and other people have something to talk about. It was better than nothing. So am I enamored by it? No, but at the same time, I think it's better than nothing.
Texter says Diesel thinks everyone is on the hot seat. Look, prove me wrong that the SEC fires a lot of head coaches every year. The average is 3. They average 3 head coach firings every year.
A lot of pressure.
And if you're not saying Alabama's going to pull the move on Kalen DeBoer, no one else is getting fired. Kirby's not getting fired. Sark's not getting fired. DeBoer's not getting fired. Venables is not getting fired. Pete Golding just got there. Mike Elko's not getting fired. If you're telling me that 3 coaches are going to get fired out of the SEC this year, I'm putting my money on Josh Heupel, Shane Beamer, and Eli Drinkwitz.
Oh, yeah, throw Beamer in there.
Alex Golesh just got there. John Summerall just got there.
Yeah.
Clark Lee gave Vanderbilt something they've never had before.
Mm-hmm.
Who else is leaving? Nobody.
Yeah.
Those are the 3.
It's tough. That is a good study. We need to go back and look and see if let's just say the last decade.
Yeah.
How many coaches from the SEC get fired every year?
I think it's anywhere between 2 and 4. So on average, it's probably 3.
Ooh, that's crazy. A lot of pressure in that conference.
There is.
Diesel, we got to get to the top headlines. Our Daily Wires. That's next. Well, Spain is on top of the world, Diesel, as we begin our Daily Wires. They had a goal early in the second period of extra time, and it was enough to secure their second World Cup with a 1-0 win at New York, New Jersey MetLife Stadium, where the Jets fans were like, hey, we're used to no score, right?
Wait,
in this
you're allowed
stadium.
to win in here?
Yeah, so no
Oh.
big deal there. Congratulations to Spain. After the All-Star break, let's talk about this. The Atlanta Braves seem to have found some life in themselves. The Braves took 2 of 3 from the Rangers over the weekend. Should have took 3. They choked game 2 away. Scored 29 runs in 3 games. The Braves now 56-40 on the season. 3-game lead over the Phillies in the NL East. And welcome back, Austin Riley.
Hey, buddy.
Woo! Where's that guy been?
Hitting dingers.
Austin Riley had a massive 3-game weekend series against the Rangers. Diesel batting 500, 6 for 12, 3 home runs, 5 RBIs, 5 runs scored, an impressive 1.167 slugging percentage. Whoa, that's good. Good to see Austin Riley getting back involved. Boy, if that could continue, and Drake Baldwin does what he does, and you get Acuna back, and then could get good again.
Dewey, you owe Austin Riley an apology. Are you man enough to call in and make it?
Man, life could get real good again if that were to happen. Drake Baldwin says, what about me, Cole? Drake Baldwin put together a massive 3-game series over the Rangers, batting .714, 10 of 14, 3 home runs, 8 RBIs, 5 runs scored. Listen to this. His monster weekend was highlighted by a career-high Wendy's-sponsored 5-for-5 performance in the July 19th series finale. Not really sponsored by Wendy, but, come on. You kidding me? 5-for-5 yesterday. He was phenomenal. So these Braves, boy, they looked good yesterday. Love it. And Friday as well. Atlanta begins a massive homestand this week tonight versus the San Diego Padres. Let's see. It is Bryce Elder on the mound tonight for Atlanta. SEC Media Days well underway in Tampa. We just heard from Jordan K. Diesel. Tomorrow, today we'll hear from Phil Kornblut, Sports Talk Media Network. He's there. We'll get his thoughts. Tomorrow we'll visit with Zach Blackerby and Jack Veltri. They're both live at SEC Media Days in Tampa, so a lot of SEC coverage coming your way on the Fan. Ryan Fox won the Open Championship, the British Open, at Royal Birkdale, Diesel, finishing 10 under par, 1 stroke ahead of runner-up Cam Young. What a finish. It took him to 18. Both golfers there on 18 had a chance to win it, and 11-foot putt for Ryan Fox gives him the championship. How about that?
I hate calling it the Open Championship. Yeah. It's the British Open. It's the British Open. Yeah. We have the U.S. Open, the British Open. Let's stop messing around.
I know. I'm with you. A little confusion as well. Michigan AD, big surprise here, right? Ward Manuel will step down at the end of the calendar year, the university announced on Monday.
Hey,
no surprise.
They told us last week that they didn't even talk about his future. And then they told us the week before that they were definitely going to talk about his future. What happened?
Yeah. In Tampa, Oklahoma quarterback John Mateer said that the mental toll he suffered after a hand injury temporarily derailed his season. He said that was the hardest thing he has ever faced, but now is at full strength and returned. Missouri running back Ahmad Hardy also been medically cleared. He got shot earlier this summer. Thank goodness to hear that. And last one for you, Diesel. A Canadian-based technology company that supplied Live Golf's Any Shot, Anytime features during its broadcast has sued the league for more than $1 million for outstanding unpaid invoices and lost revenue.
Oh, it just keeps getting worse for Live.
Yeah, it's not a good thing. I thought they should have some reservoir money saved somewhere from
Live
the
Golf
Saudis, right?
Is like the Fire Fest of major sports leagues.
Yeah, it's not good.
Go back and watch the Fire Fest documentaries. Have you ever seen those?
Yeah, I have.
The concert festival that was a total crap show.
Yeah, disaster, right?
Yeah,
disaster. And those are your daily wires.
When we come back, Cole, let's overreact. You, me, Tolos, 844-326-3663. Be ready to call in on the Joy Law Firm text line, or you can text in or call in on that number. And it's time for you to overreact. Next. Well, Tolos, there's a lot of material that you could overreact to from the weekend. The Braves won 2 out of 3. They were hitting a lot of homers, scoring a lot of runs.
Man.
Even in the loss, they put up 6 runs
Yeah.
in that loss in game number 2 there. You have the World Cup finals to talk about. You may say that England, who looked really good in their third place game against France, probably could have given Spain a better game than Argentina did. I don't know. That's up to you if that's what you want to talk about. You could call in and talk about ACC Media Days and something you saw or heard from us last week while we were there on location, Cole. But I'm going to start my Overreaction Monday with this. Brian Rolop, the CEO of the PGA Tour, has no choice. He's got to boot Bryson DeChambeau out of majors. Say, you're not going to play in our majors, given your childish ranting and raving when you broke the rules. You knew you did it. I don't know if you did it on purpose or not, but you broke the rules. You held up the tournament for how many hours, Cole? There's no reason why Bryson DeChambeau needs to be playing in the PGA tournaments.
You know what's funny about this story, Diesel, and I'll tell you in a minute if I agree with you or disagree with you, but what's funny is Bryson didn't win.
Nope.
The World Cup happened, and ACC, SEC Media Day, like locally, a lot happening, and a really good race at a really good local track last night. But Bryson DeChambeau is kind of like the most interesting, compelling story here of all the stories today because of what he did. And you're saying on this Overreaction Monday that he should be banned. Here's the reality. Did he pout? He always pouts. I mean, that's nothing new. He changed the lie, whether he was like intent. I see both sides, but like he was standing up and he was almost high knees.
But intent doesn't matter, right? It's like targeting in a college football game.
Yeah.
Your intent to do damage or to improve your lie doesn't matter. Did you do it or not?
Well, and here's the problem. Here's where I think this gets in the weeds. No pun
Nice
intended.
pun.
The problem is, how do you, within the rules, within the confine of the rules, how do you do what you can do within the confine of the rules without messing up your lie, right? Because like him stepping on the grass, that does impact his lie. It does.
It's very simple, Cole. You stand next to your ball where your feet would be when you are taking your shot, and then you step back about 3 or 4 paces behind the ball. And you can stand back there because you have to be able to look at your shot, right? You have to be able to look at it online. You have to be able to figure out what it is you want to do, what kind of angle you want to take. But you can't stand directly behind the ball, which is what happened. Rule 8.1 says a player is not allowed to improve the conditions affecting the stroke, even if it's unintentional, by flattening grass or otherwise creating a better path for the club. He did that. He did exactly that. And then he was assessed a 2-stroke. Look, that would be nearly impossible to get out of without affecting the grass around it. It's like didn't it come up like earlier this season? Maybe it was a major, maybe it wasn't. I can't remember. But somebody said the rule that something growing in the ground is an immovable object, and somebody moved it. Right? Mm-hmm. Somebody tamped some grass down. Like this just happened in a major tournament not that long ago. Like you can move a leaf as long as the ball doesn't move, you can move the leaf because that's not considered an affixed part of the golf course.
Sure.
But grass grows in the ground. You can't cut a tree down. You can't stomp on the grass.
Yeah, and look, within the rule that you just read, there's no doubt he did break the rule.
Yeah.
I do. What I do find, not being like a golf guru or a golf expert, I do find one thing really fascinating. And it's not what Bryson said, and it's not what Bryson did. It's what Scotty didn't say. It's what Scotty didn't say. And Diesel, again, I'm not. Why is that camera zooming in like that? Look at my camera. So I got a new camera.
Ghosts in the machine.
I got
Cole.
a new camera today. And
Did you put it on zoom mode, or is it just doing it automatically?
it's just going in and out. You see, if you're watching the stream, I don't know. Again, it's done that once or twice, but let's see if I can get it back. There we go. I know you have the audio, and we'll get to it in a second. But Diesel, as someone who's not like a golf guru, but does casually follow the sport, I do value Scotty's opinion. Not like over everybody else's, but Scotty is near the top, if not at the top of the game of golf, and has been for a long time, and I value his opinion. And I was kind of surprised, intrigued a little bit when I heard his audio, and I want to now hear more.
Yeah.
Because did it not sound like Scotty was going to side with Bryson a little bit?
I don't know. Let's play the audio.
Let's play it.
So here you go. Here's Scotty Scheffler.
I was playing with him yesterday. I don't really have a ton to say on it. Actually, I do have a ton to say. I don't have decided exactly what I want to say publicly yet, but I do have some thoughts. I don't really feel like now's the time or place for me to comment. Like we're in the middle of the tournament. I'm focused on what I need to do, and not a road I want to go down today. And I have the tournament to focus on, and I'm going to go hit a few balls and hit a few putts, and it's my job to go out there and shoot all around tomorrow. Anything outside of that is outside my control.
See, you think that he was going to support Bryson DeChambeau. I think the exact opposite.
You do, really?
I think the exact opposite.
Maybe you're right. I can't tell.
With Scotty, he's so diplomatic, right?
Yeah.
He didn't want to step into a media firestorm. On the opposite side of things, Rory McIlroy did not hold back at all, Cole.
Yeah,
so we got two very distinct clips of audio. They're both about 25 seconds long. Here is Rory on Bryson DeChambeau.
I was watching it live. I was up in the players' lounge watching it with a few other players, and as soon as he made the step into the ball, we all sort of looked at each other and were like, "That didn't seem right."
Yeah.
And then when I heard that he was called in by the rules officials, I think it was pretty obvious for why. I think there's no doubt that he improved the line of his backswing. So, and again, it's like whether it was careless or whether it was intentional, I don't think it matters. Hopefully it was careless. But I think the 2-shot penalty was justified for sure.
So if it's careless, if you're Bryson DeChambeau and it's careless, you say, "Oh crap, man, I can't believe I did that." I know the
better,
rules.
though.
I know the rules.
Yeah.
I know I can't do that. I was just not thinking, and I was standing right behind the ball because it's where I normally stand when I'm assessing a shot, right?
But you gotta know better if you're Bryson.
Gotta know better. Now, here's the follow-up from Rory.
What do you think the scenes after? Obviously, you guys were delayed getting your tee times as well because of it all going on.
Late night for everyone.
Yeah.
I won't pretend to be up here and defend Bryson. I'm not particularly fond of him. I think a lot of it's performative. I think a lot of it's for attention. And to hold the tournament hostage like that and have all of us volunteers, players, everyone waiting to depart, I didn't feel like it was a great look.
No, it's not a great look. People are trying to do their jobs. People want to go home. People want to get their tee times for tomorrow. And you're in an office bitching and moaning at a rules official after you broke the rule. You can say you meant to or not. Doesn't matter. You broke the rule.
That is an incredible piece of audio.
Not particularly fond of Bryson DeChambeau.
That's so good. That's got to be a promo. Like, that is really good. So
they hate him.
So yes, I think they do. Now I think maybe you are changing my mind. I originally heard Scotty's audio and thought Scotty was gonna maybe back him up, and I didn't have any reason to think that, but Rory right there said in that first clip of audio that he improved the line of his backswing.
Mm-hmm.
That was his wording. And again, these guys like Scotty or Rory sitting in that room, he said he was watching it live, and when it happened, they all looked at each other like, "Whoa!" I obviously trust somebody who plays the game every day. And if they looked at each other in that moment and thought, "Oh, you can't do that," then yeah, I mean, it's very simple. And Bryson DeChambeau, this isn't his first major. Like, he should absolutely know better.
See, I think Bryson knew what he was doing because Bryson, I think knew that given where the ball was, the fact that it was plugged down into this tall grass, it's really hard to get a club head on the ball to get it out of there. I'll bet you he thought to himself, I could take a 2-stroke penalty and that will actually save me strokes compared to trying to hack this golf ball out of this thick cabbage. Because
maybe
you can't get a club down there.
Maybe.
And you could plug it even worse. I don't know the rule here, and if somebody knows, please help me out. Like, you take a drop if the ball goes in the water where it's not retrievable. But if a ball is still in bounds and it's just in a really tough lie, you can't just take a drop because you say, "Oh, this line really sucks." You can't do that. You have to play it as it lies if it's in bounds and playable.
So going back to what you said there at the beginning about the 2-shot, that's not terrible strategy. It's still a 2-shot drop. Like you're still being penalized by 2 shots. And I don't absolutely hate the strategy there, but wouldn't you think if that was his mindset, he wouldn't have pitched a fit to the officials when it happened? Like if he went into that scenario thinking, hey, I'm fine with taking a penalty here, don't pitch a fit. I just think that there's something wrong with that guy to the point where Rory's right. Like he has to make it all about him. He is an attention whore.
Well, you saw the part where he said to the referee, I might just not come back and play tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean,
like he said, what a whiner. What a candy ass.
And I don't know if they'll ever, like, to your overreaction, like ban him from majors, but it's just, I get why other golfers don't like him.
Yeah. Say, hey, Bryson, you're no longer welcome at majors. You're not welcome here unless you rejoin the tour. And you can't rejoin the tour unless you pay the pound of flesh.
That was weird from the weekend, man. And you know what sucks to the Fox guy is that we're not even talking about him winning. You know,
it's unfair.
It's like, oh, we're spending more time talking about Bryson stomping on grass than we are the Fox. What was his name? James, John, Bill?
Michael J.
I don't even know. What was his name? Did he have a name? Did he have and he's a good golfer. He's been coming on as of late, but I know it sounds disrespectful. I just don't even remember the guy's name. Let's go to the phone lines. Tom in Somerville, first up, Diesel on Overreaction Monday. What's up, Tom?
Hey, guys. So we spent all last week talking about the All Cupcake Conference, and here it is, 5 o'clock. I'm itching to get to the radio. I'm itching to hear what y'all got to say about some real conference, some real SEC football coaches, what they had to say. And we're talking about golf. I mean, come on.
You know, Diesel and I, Tom, I don't know what it is. Diesel and I didn't even think about SEC Media Days being this week.
That's this week, Tom?
We didn't even think about it.
Yeah, you know. Well, I know
is it really this week, Tom? Tom, is it really this week?
It's today. It started today.
So
how do we miss that?
So you said you called in last week, Tom, and said that you were sitting on your couch watching wall-to-wall ACC kickoff coverage. Like, do you just hate yourself? Like, why do you sit and watch hours of coverage if you don't like the conference?
Because it's better than watching golf or soccer or anything else. And it's football related.
So have you not been toloing, Tom?
Today, unfortunately, I was not able to tolo.
So it's your fault.
We're lying
Tom.
to you, by the way.
It's your fault, Tom, because we've been talking SEC football for literally the entire show, except for one segment up until now.
And a little World Cup, which was like 5 minutes.
That's the one segment.
Yeah, that's it.
You know, I don't like. People said that was a good game.
It wasn't.
No, Tom.
No, yeah.
Tom,
No,
you're not going to talk World Cup now. No, you're not allowed to talk World Cup. No, get back in line. And I'm still, and you know what? Let me say this about you. I'm still kind of annoyed with you about this whole, like, last week or week before last, you came at me about my where my fandom lies. You being, remember when I called you very what did I call you? You were too biased, right? You couldn't see things plain. I'm still not over that. I still think you're a bad representation for Gamecock fans.
Well, all right. Let's get into it. I don't even know what day Shane's gonna be on the podium
Tomorrow.
But okay. So
you think a Gamecock fan would know that?
Yeah, no kidding. What kind of Gamecock fan are you, Tom? You're lousy.
Hey,
you're lousy.
It don't matter what day he speaks. I'm watching it all.
Yeah.
We got to see Josh Heupel today get up there. Did y'all see that? He got up there and he said, "I don't care. You know, if we got our grocery stores, gas stations, we got to have golf balls ready. We got to have balls of mustard ready for when Lane Kiffin comes to town." He said, and I hope Shane does the same thing. I hope he gets up there, and I hope he says something about Dabo. You know, I hope he looks in that camera and goes, "I know my job's on the line, but I can guarantee you this. I don't lose to Dabo Swinney in Death Valley, and I will not lose again, and I hope he drops the mic and just walks off the stage."
Tom, you're the best. We got to run. We got a call or a guest coming up, but I always appreciate the call. Good stuff there. I love picking it, Tom. Dan B up next and Cocky for a Reason, and then we'll have to get to a break. What up, Dan? Dan B.
Daniel.
Sorry.
You didn't play the bing bong.
Oh, I thought. Well, he didn't answer. He didn't answer the phone. You got to answer to get to play the bing bong. Go ahead, Dan.
Yeah, no, I real quick went back and watched that Bryson clip. It's hilarious to watch him like a hissy fit right there,
Crashing
like
out.
shaking his hands like a toddler. Like, what are you talking about?
It was bad. It was really bad. How about that race? How about that race?
Yeah.
Are you going? Is that where you're going?
Yeah. Yeah, great to see the Cup race. I mean, all week long they promoted, the 30 years of them not racing there and all the history that's involved. Yeah, North Wilkesboro. And it was awesome to see. Like, it was a great spectacle, kind of like at the San Diego event. Like, it was great to see all that and to see the build up to it. Race itself was decent. It wasn't horrible.
Yeah.
They had done this thing. They took out all the foam out of all the bumpers to discourage tapping other people.
Yeah.
So
I'll tell you this, Dan.
It made it hurt.
Yeah. I'll tell you this. I hadn't this year. I've probably not watched 3-4 races, not many at all. But last night was cool. They did Diesel about a 30-minute documentary before the race with Dale Jr. and a lot of people in the North Wilkesboro Speedway. And even if you're not a race fan, even if you're not a NASCAR fan, Dan B can attest, NASCAR did an incredible job with this documentary because North Wilkesboro, like, I didn't even know a lot of things about it. The history it had and the owners and how they got it back into the fold. Dale Jr. actually asked if they could scan the track for, what do you call it, ISIM? Is that right?
iRacing. Like,
iRacing.
I feel like that part of the story
simulation.
is so incredible.
So Diesel, it was the most popular track on iRacing after they scanned it.
Nice.
It was a great story. NASCAR did a great job, Dan.
Yeah, no, and what he did, he convinced the owner, Paul Smith, I think. He's like, hey, we'd like to come in and clean it up a little bit. We need to get all the grass out of the cracks so that they could do this laser measurement. And all that did was kickstart.
That's right.
Them bringing it back as a real track. It was like a what do they call it? Like a sleight of hand movement, where it's like, hey, we just want to come in and scan the track, and what we really want is to turn it into a track again. Yeah. And then the state of North Carolina, they kept saying how North Carolina's paid $3 million to help. I think the county paid something, Dale paid, so all that went in is certainly incredible. Unfortunately, I don't think like Greenville Pickens is going to have that kind of pull,
right.
Just because it doesn't have that level of racing, the high level. So, it's kind of probably going to go by the wayside, which is unfortunate. And the big guys, they talk about it. Dale Jr. brings up Greenville Pickens all the time because I think his nephew, I forget his name, but races there, used to race there when it was still open. He races all around this area. So anyway.
Dan, why don't you put some of your pilot money into Greenville Pickens Speedway?
There you go. Big investor. Yeah. Thanks, Dan. All right, Diesel, we got time for Cocky, and that's it. We got a run to Phil Kornblut coming up in Tampa, Florida, but Cocky for a reason, best for last today. Cocky, is that right?
That's me.
What's up?
I was going to talk to Bryson talk. We can talk, football talk, but you stirred me up. You attacking my man Tom, and I got Tom's back, and you ain't going to talk trash to my man Tom. You're gonna show some respect to Tom. We're not gonna have that.
He's a lousy Gamecock fan. That's all he is.
No, he's not a lousy Gamecock. He's a good Gamecock fan. I'm a Homer Gamecock fan, and you're a covert Clemson fan. You're covert. You're covert.
Wow. Now Cocky and Tom both coming at me, teaming up. I don't know. Is covert? I mean, is that what you think? I am a covert Clemson fan?
Well,
CCF.
You're saying you're neutral in that. You're just hiding.
I've never said I'm neutral. When did I?
You're a closet Clemson fan. You need to come out of the closet and express your loyalty.
When have I ever said I was neutral, Cocky?
We should just cut that where he says Cole should come out of the closet.
I know, that'd be a
good
promo. Yeah.
Yeah, he needs to come out of the closet.
Oh, man. I've never said I was neutral. Not one time.
you have well, maybe not neutral, but you dilly dallied around.
Oh, come on.
You know, it's a cocky. It's a
You
thing
said-
called
well,
cocky.
You said you weren't a homer.
It's
Yeah,
a thing
so-
called
go.
professionalism, cocky.
There you go.
We have
There you
the
go. Thank you,
ability
Diesel.
to
Thank you.
put our fandoms
we-
and our personal allegiances aside
Yeah, if you don't,
to be able to talk about other teams.
and if you don't want that, there's another station you can listen to that doesn't do that.
No, I love you guys. So,
I'm just
why would
kidding.
I wanna- why-
I'm
why
just
would I-
messing
Why
with-
would I want to listen to anybody
I
else?
know. I'm just messing with you. I love the banner. I don't think. Look, I like Old Tom. I do. I like Old Tom. He's a good one, and I enjoy the back and forth. It's fun. It wouldn't be fun if there was no back.
yeah, but at least Cocky knew what time Shane Beamer was going to speak tomorrow.
That's true. That's true.
Exactly. Well, since last week was JV, because JV time, because JV always plays before varsity.
Oh, here we go.
This week is varsity because hey, it's SEC time. So JV was last week. This week is varsity. Varsity always plays after JV.
I love it, Cocky. Thanks
Thanks,
for the call.
Cocky. Good to hear
Oh,
from you.
good stuff as always. I love it.
We got to get out to break, Cole, because we're going to have Phil waiting forever.
Yeah,
Phil
I just texted him.
Kornblut of Sports Talk Media Network, also live at SEC Media Days in Tampa. He's coming up next.
get Phil Kornblut on the line very, very soon. He is trying to break free from his duties and obligations in Tampa. And after all, he does go on the air here in about 30 minutes as well. So maybe we can spend some time with Phil live from SEC Media Days. Tomorrow, we've got 2 guests also lined up from SEC Media Days. Zach Blackerby, he's going to talk Auburn's days tomorrow. And Jack Veltry's there as well, talking Gamecocks. So continuing the SEC conversation.
Hear that, Tom?
Long.
You hear that, Tom?
Yeah, you hear that, Tom? He didn't get in on the text line, by the way. Tom did on the Joy Law Firm text line. He said, Cocky, for a reason, I'm going to buy you a beer and we can pick on Cole and Diesel. And Tom got back in and said Cole is a biased Clemson fan. So he's coming after me. He's coming after me.
It's biased, not biased. It's biased.
Cocky and Tom teaming up on Cole. That might have to be a fun season-long rivalry there. Cole versus Tom and Cocky for a reason. I like that. I think I can take them on. They can,
a little tag team action.
Yeah, I like it. Let's get to this rule real quick. A texter from the 203 got in and he said, I'm pretty sure you can take an unplayable ball, but I think it's a 2-stroke penalty and you have to drop with the driver's length of location. Diesel contacted the head of PGA during the break and has gotten the rule, and it is?
It is a 1-stroke penalty if you declare your ball unplayable. So
really?
Bryson could have done that. He could have declared his ball unplayable. Another great example is if you hit it like so deep in the woods, there's no way you're getting out of that. You can declare it unplayable, then you've got 3 choices, Cole. It's Rule 19 of golf. Option number 1 is stroke and distance. So you lose a stroke, you take it back to where you hit your previous shot, and you just take another shot. Okay. So Bryson could have gone back to the tee.
Was that a second shot?
That would have been his second shot. Gotcha. Yes. So he could have essentially dropped 2 back at the tee box and hit 3 and continued on. There's also another option called back on the line. You can go back as far as you'd like on a straight line, extending from the hole through the ball's spot. So you could back it up on the other side of, I think he was like sort of on top of a dune that was covered in tall grass. He still would have had to take the 1-stroke penalty. So all of these are still a 1-stroke penalty. Or he could have taken lateral relief. You can drop the ball within 2 club lengths of the original ball's spot, no closer to the hole. Problem with that one, obviously, is it's a large patch of grass. So 2-stroke.
It was a lot of
2 club lengths.
I just would have, redone the tee shot.
Redone the shot.
Yeah. That is an interesting rule. And of course, Bryson knows that. I don't know. I can't figure him out. Because if he did what he did on purpose, he wouldn't have pitched the fit. If he would have just taken the 1 stroke, he was top 3, top 4, close to T5.
I think he was like a stroke or 2 off the lead at the time, and then that pushed him so far back that it hurt him. Dan B on the stream.
Be careful with that one. Be careful.
Dan says, careful, you may hurt their feelings at some point and they'll peace out like someone else. Wow.
No comment.
Dan B coming in hot. Good stuff. Hey, we're efforting Phil Kornblut of Sports Talk Media Network. We had a great time with Smitty last week. He was up at ACC Media Days. He came on the show, joined us, I think it was on Friday to close out the show, or he joined us, not Friday. I think it was on Thursday that he came and joined us. And Smitty was great. Smitty doing a great job up there for his outlet, Sports Talk Media Network.
Don't say that. Don't give him too much credit. Don't give Smitty too much credit.
I gotta pump him up because Phil Kornblut has to foot the bill to send him there. So I want to make sure that we continue seeing Smitty at
Phil
ACC
Kornblut Diesel is live from Tampa, Florida, and we go to Tampa to talk SEC Media Days for a few minutes before he jumps on his show. Phil, always appreciate your time, pal. How are things? Set the scene for us in Tampa, Florida.
Well, it's over for today. Things wrapped up. Last coaches came through. I guess pretty much over for the day. They've all come through, and I think they're about to make their way out. Yeah, we just had a big storm blow through Tampa. It's overcast now. It's wet outside. A lot of wind, a lot of lightning, some heavy rain, just a big old thunderstorm as the temperature built up here in the mid-afternoons. But otherwise, it was a good day. We had our first 4 teams come through. We had Greg Sankey give his annual State of the League address, and he talked about a number of different things that just bored me to tears. So sick and tired of commissioners No, I'm just sick and tired of commissioners just talking like the attorneys that they are, I guess. And it's just, it's time to talk football now. It's time to talk tackles and touchdowns and interceptions and injuries and da-da-da-da-da, instead of all this other stuff that drowns us out. So otherwise, it's been a good day. Again, nothing. Listen, SEC Media Days, back in the day, we would come to this thing and you had things going on. You had your Spurrier, you had your Fulmer, you had, Lou Holtz. You had people that would say stuff. I guess maybe the loudest sentence, the loudest statement of the day came from Will Stein, the new coach at Kentucky, who spoke in all the rooms, but in the main media room, he was asked a question about why he thinks he can or why he thinks he can win or turn it around at Kentucky, and he said, because of me. He says, just because of me. I'm here. I can do this. I'm this. I'm that. Da, da, da. I'll tell you, the guy sat down in the electronic room, which is where I was set up. He looked like somebody you'd go to for a mortgage. But he's a football coach, and I mean he's one of these offensive gurus coming from Oregon, 3 years out there. So we'll see what he can do. Otherwise, Brent Venables was very good. He's got a healthy quarterback that he didn't have much of last year, and he still made the playoffs. So a healthy John Mateer will do great things for Oklahoma, I'm sure. Tennessee's got an interesting situation. They got a lot of talent. You know who's one of the best receivers in the SEC who should never have gotten out of this state was the Staley kid from Strom Thurmond. He had 68 catches last year at Tennessee. And combined with Mike Matthews, they've got a dynamic receiving duo there. But they got freshmen at quarterbacks. That's the thing. They have a true freshman and a redshirt freshman at quarterback. So what are you going to get there? So we heard from Tennessee. We heard from Kentucky. We heard from Oklahoma. And let's see. I always forget the
Missouri,
last
right?
one that we heard from. Oh, yeah. Well, South Carolina doesn't play Missouri this year, so I wasn't so tuned in. But, yeah, Eli Drinkwitz. The news there, I guess the biggest story is Hardy's cleared. He's fully healthy. It's going to be about 5 to 8 weeks, he said, before he's really ready to go and play football, coming off the May 10th gunshot wound to his leg. But he's been cleared for everything. So, that was some of the key stuff there. So, first 4 through. We got 4 more tomorrow, including the Gamecock contingent will be here for the afternoon wave. So we look forward to that.
Phil, we both laughed because we played the Greg Sankey audio earlier, and a texter got in and said now he knows how to cure his insomnia. So he's going to just play Greg Sankey clips, and it's awful. It's awful. So earlier in the show, we had on Jordan Kay of the State newspaper, and I was asking him about Josh Heupel and about Eli Drinkwitz and their job security if things go wrong for them. And he seems to believe that nobody's getting fired this year in the SEC. But you and I both know the average is somewhere between 2 and 4 coaches get shown their walking papers at the end of the season. Am I off base for thinking either of those two guys and maybe Shane Beamer as well are in a tight spot this year?
I wouldn't think Drinkwitz and Heupel would be. I think everybody understands in Shane Beamer's case that coming off of 4 and 8 that there's got to be a turnaround. It's got to be a big turnaround. I mean, he's got to get to, I guess 6 wins would satisfy everybody and buy him some more time. 7 wins, everybody'd be, probably ecstatic about that in a bowl game and all that kind of stuff. 6 wins will get you to a bowl game, of course. So I would say of those 3, he's the one that's most likely to, if he doesn't win, if he doesn't have a big season, he's the one that would be most likely to be canned from those 3. I mean, Heupel, they slipped to 8 wins last year, but I mean, they had 9 before that. And I think they had like 11 before that. They had a nice run. He's got an exciting team. He got 3 transfers starting on the offensive line. Plus they got the big, left tackle who was the right tackle last year, the kid out of Charlotte, who should really solidify, be the leader of their offensive line. They took a transfer from Penn State, linebacker who started at North Carolina, then Penn State is very good, who kind of head up their linebacking core. So, I think Tennessee's got a chance to be pretty good. They'll play the Gamecocks this year, so we'll get to see that in person. A Missouri quarterback situation there, of course, they've got to deal with. Now, they've got the transfer from Ole Miss, who was going to be the starter at Ole Miss, Anthony Simmons. He was going to be the starter at Ole Miss till he got hurt. And, of course, never could get his job back, and it worked out great for Ole Miss. But we'll see what Anthony Simmons can do at Missouri. He's supposed to be a very talented quarterback. With Hardy and his backup's pretty good too. But Hardy, 1,700 yards last year. And that guy, more yards after contact, I bet you, than anybody in the country. He was so hard to bring down. So a healthy Hardy will give them a dynamic weapon once again at Mizzou. So yeah, I would say Missouri and Tennessee have the goods to have a very competitive, good season. It's hard to sit here and look at every SEC team and expect this team's going to win 8, this team's going to win 9, this team's going to win 10, because as they go through the grind of the season, we don't know. We can't say with certainty right now, well, who's going to stay healthy, who's going to keep their quarterback upright, who's going to make the clutch plays, who's going to win those close games that make all the difference in the world. So any number of those teams could do it. Obviously, people want to start out with the LSUs and the Alabamas and Georgia, I guess, at the very top, in Texas. But Texas was picked to finish. Texas was the pick last year of the media to win the SEC championship. And what did they do? Finish tied for 5th, I think it was. So it's so hard. It's to quote Brad Brownell very frequently, it's just hard. It's just hard.
Phil, we'll talk to you again real soon, hopefully one more time from Tampa before you leave from down there this week. But my last question for you is, when you look at the SEC, big picture, we've talked about this several times, and I'm sure you have as well on your show. Do you believe, from what you've heard, what you've seen, what you've studied this offseason, the SEC will be back to the top when it comes to holding the championship trophy in 2026? The Big Ten's been on a run lately, but is it the SEC's turn now in your mind?
Yeah, I mean, I don't see why not. I mean, they've got teams that are as good as anybody as the top teams in the Big Ten, and certainly they've got teams as good as anybody in the Big 12 or the ACC. So, any one of these SEC teams could emerge and win a championship. They're good enough. They are. Georgia, I imagine that Gunnar Stockton is going to be the quarterback at Georgia. And I think he does a lot of great things. Georgia's Georgia. And Alabama will be starting a new quarterback, but they're Alabama, and they have the pieces. They have the talent throughout. I mean, these teams, these traditional blue blood teams just don't die out overnight. They're good because they're built to last, and that's why they are where they are at this particular time. That's why they're blue bloods. So I could see in Alabama, I could see Georgia, I could see Ole Miss once again with the talent that they've got, the quarterback being back. Now, Golding is a defensive guy, and he had one game, the playoff game, to be judged by as the head coach running everything. Let's see what happens there. Let's see. I mean, how much of a drop-off is there going to be in running a program from Lane Kiffin to Pete Golding? Is it going to be small? Is it going to be a huge gap between the two? I mean, let's face it. Love or hate Kiffin, he's charismatic. He's a character. He's whatever you want to call him, but he's noticeable, and he runs a program. He has a program. He runs a program. Can Golding keep it going? That's going to be one of the big questions for Ole Miss. They'll have some players. They have a quarterback, and they have other pieces, but can he keep it going? I think that's a big question there. So if he does, there's a chance that Ole Miss is going to be there. And of course, Texas is Texas. Everybody's, got Manning among one of the favorites to win the Heisman. So yeah, I think there's legitimately 2, 3, maybe even 4 SEC teams that here in July, you could not discount for having a chance to win the championship. Just like the Big Ten, you can't discount Ohio State. You can't discount, with Michigan, who knows what's going to happen with Michigan. But, and the ACC, Miami, possible. Always have to think Clemson can rise up and have a great year and do something special. So, yeah, there's there's several teams in each league I think who could emerge as the champion, and that would include the SEC.
Phil Kornblut, Sports Talk Media Network. Phil, most likely coach of the remaining 12 who have not yet come through media days to do something strange. And let me bring you in and tell you why I'm asking you this question. On Friday, Bill Belichick walks up to a bagel spread, a table covered with boxes of bagels, right? Breaks one in half, side to side, not top to bottom, side to side, breaks one in half, puts half back in the box, ignores all the condiments, doesn't toast it, just eats it raw and walks away. I thought that was maybe the highlight of the ACC Media Day because it was so weird. But I guess maybe the biggest wild card still coming around. You're going to keep your eye on.
Wait a minute. You're saying that he took a bagel in his hands.
Yep.
He broke it in half.
Yep.
He kept half of it.
Yep.
And the one that he put his hands on, the half that he had his hands on, he put back in the box.
Yep. Yeah.
Gross.
And he did.
First of all, that's just gross.
There were all kinds of things he could have spread onto it. There were,
Do we know where those hands have been?
On Jordan Hudson, I would assume.
Yeah.
Well, who knows? I'm not suggesting anything, but first of all, that's just uncouth. Number one. Number two, I'm surprised some Tar Heel fan in the media didn't grab it up and put it on eBay.
Oh, that's a good point. Good point. Good point.
Here's half a bagel. Half a bagel. Who's left? We got 12 guys left. I mean, who are the characters who are likely to say something? We've already had the first.
It's got to be Lane, right? It's got to be Lane.
Well, yeah, but you know what? He's been very laid back. Now, last year when he came here, if I remember correctly, I think that was on the heels of his father's death. About this time last year. So he came. He was really subdued last year. But he would be one. Golish, I don't know. I don't know what he's like. Smart's not likely to do it. Now Beamer can go off, though he's not as I hate to say the word flamboyant like he was in his first year here when he did the little dance thing and wore the sunglasses and all that kind of stuff. He sort of calmed down from that. Certainly not Clark Lee at Vanderbilt. I mean, he's stale bread when it comes to that. I don't know Golding well enough. If he's asked a question about cheating in the free agent market, that might set him off and get us some action. And I don't know anything about Silverfield in Arkansas, so that'll be a first time. Levy and Sarkisian. So I don't know. I don't see anybody who's going to provide us with any major fireworks, to be honest with you. And I mean, again, I've been going to this thing since about 90, 95, 96, and I was at the one. I can't remember the year, but it was in Birmingham when Phil Fulmer pulled up to the hotel and was served with a summons, I guess you call it, or he was served with papers. He was being sued. He was being sought after and sued in the state of Alabama, and they waited for him to come to media days. The sheriff was there and served him papers, and he got back in his car and drove away.
That's pretty good. Phil, you're the best, man. Have a great show, and as always, we appreciate your time.
Yeah, man. Talk to you soon.
Phil.
Phil Kornblut, Sports Talk Media Network. Good stuff there. I like it. That's one way to get somebody you need. Go to SEC Media Days.
You know where they're going to be.
Take care of it, right? That's pretty good stuff.
Man.
I like that.
I've seen a lot of movie clips where somebody will go above and beyond to fool someone into accepting a summons. That's great.
That's pretty good.
SEC Media Days, he knows he's going to be there.
Yeah.
Cole, let's spend the last couple minutes of this third hour of the show talking Atlanta Braves, man. It feels good to be a Braves fan again. We'll talk about the weekend and what we think it might mean next. Well, put a big old check next to run support, Cole. The Atlanta Braves got it over the weekend. The Braves took 2 of 3 against the Rangers. Should have swept the Rangers, but hey, what if I told you that you were averaging more than 9 runs a game for the Atlanta Braves? You'd say, heck yeah, I'll take that.
No, you'd take it all day. And it's weird because a couple of weeks ago, you and I talked about it, Diesel. These symptoms of the Braves, sometimes they're this, sometimes they're that. This weekend, runs aplenty. It's like they were eating at the Beacon Drive-In. Runs aplenty, right? But the pitching did fall through a little bit on Saturday.
Runs aplenty is normally what you get after you eat a Taco Bell.
Right, but the pitching was a little bit on Saturday on the back end. But you do, as a Braves fan, you do wish you could have got the sweep. The good thing is you won the series, and you looked really good. Oh, Drake Baldwin, incredible.
Mm-hmm.
You're getting Acuna back. And let's talk about the elephant in the room here, Austin Riley. Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
Where's that been? Where's that been all year?
He's been gone. You know, Austin Riley hit 3 home runs in this series. 1 home run in Friday's game, 2 home runs in yesterday's game. And Cole, he seems to be seeing the ball really well. I'd have to go back and look and see exactly when he went yard on in the first game of that series, because if it was off of the position player that was lobbing him up there at like 40 miles an hour, I don't think it was off of that. But
I don't think so.
But still, they say with like golfers, you have to hear that sound of the ball falling into the cup, and you're like, oh, that's what that sounds like.
Yeah.
I think Austin Riley, we'll see if it's sustainable, but he's getting the feel back of hitting home runs. 3 home runs in this series.
And look, the reality of it is we know that the trade deadline's in like 2 weeks, and we all want the Braves to be big buyers. We don't know if Anthopoulos will or not. We would love for him to, but the reality, Diesel, is it will help us as Braves fans feel a lot better if we can at least be, I'm not asking for 15 runs a game, but if we can get back to something like we were near the beginning of the season, you don't have to feel like you don't feel the pressure as much to go and make a big splash move at the trade deadline, because nobody thought at the trade or the beginning of the season we didn't need anybody. We were beating the Dodgers 2-3. We were beating everybody.
I do think this makes the decision for Alex Anthopoulos a little bit easier. I think maybe it takes away the absolute necessity of getting another bat. Again, we'll see if it's sustainable or not.
You gotta go get God, if you could get Tarek Skubal somehow, man. I don't know.
Getting a great starter is priority number 1. There's a big gap between there and finding another bat.
And how good? Let's not do this segment without talking about Chris Sale.
Amazing.
That guy, like, come on, as old as he is in baseball, in baseball terms, like, that guy's been phenomenal this year, as good as it gets. And if Drake Baldwin didn't get hurt, he's probably the league MVP. I mean, that guy's been so good. I just think that there's so many positives. Like I said a couple of weeks ago or last week, yes, the sky fell, and it fell hard. But you still have a division lead. You still have talented players. You're getting Ronald back. Let's see if you can just give this thing time. It's baseball. And maybe it falls flat on its face. Maybe I'm not saying we're going right back to the moon. But, Diesel, it's baseball. Let's see. You've got Drake Baldwin hitting everything. 5 for 5 yesterday. Riley, let him get going. Guys, Michael Harris, this guy's been so good. And then what happens when you stick Acuna in that lineup, who, by the way, could be back tomorrow, could be back any day now.
Yeah.
I mean, you could be back to what you were. And look, nobody wanted the slump, but we want to be playing our best baseball here in about 2 months.
If this is the end of the slump, and again, that's knocking on wood. I don't know if anything in this studio is actually made of real wood, but if that was the slump that happens every season for great teams, oh boy, is it not a good time to have it.
Yeah.
Have it before, so that way you know exactly what you need. You know that you have to go get another starter, and you can hit from here on out.
Yeah.
You don't want to slump a month before the season ends, even if you still have the lead in the division. Obviously, you want to be playing your best baseball when you get to the postseason, but now is essentially the best time to be coming out of one.
Let's see if we can get out of it, man. Let's just get out of it. You see how good you are. The Padres this week, Diesel. Not going to be easy. They're about a 500 team, still plenty of talent on their roster. So let's just continue to get out of it. breathe a little bit. I love where we are. I do. I didn't want to slump. Nobody did, but I love this where this Braves team is right now on the 20th of July. I mean, come on. We've got the offense is there. The pitching, yeah, it's a question mark. But let's see what our general manager, our guy does. Let's see what he can do at the deadline. And these young guys, they've got to grow up. Like Hurston and JR, they hadn't been good this year, but they've got to grow up at some point. So I know it sounds wild. I just like where we are. I like where we are. Let's go figure out how to win one more game. And come August, September, if we're playing good baseball, who knows? Who knows?
There you go.
Should be a lot of fun. Diesel, let's get back into the SEC conversation. It is SEC Media Days this week. And let's talk Tennessee, Missouri. Who else was there today? Josh Heupel spoke. How about that? What else?
Oklahoma was there.
Oklahoma. That's right. Brent Venables, and I'm missing one. Oklahoma, Tennessee, Missouri,
Kentucky was
and
there.
Kentucky. Will Stein. Don't forget about Will Stein.
He didn't say Google me, but he said some things that were pretty brash.
It's because of me. That's
Yeah.
why. Will Stein. That's a name we got to say like 19 times so we know who the Kentucky coach is.
Love
That's
it.
bad. That's next.